go ahead and hit load, select Wild 1, and then hit load on respawn. Now there is going to be a Cub area of the memberships of the armorveritu.com website that only Cubs will be able to access. That's why you guys sent me your emails. So you'll become members of it, and then there's going to be videos that explain things more clearly. So there'll be tutorials for you guys. If you forget things, you'll be able to go back and watch it. Everybody tracking?
Affirmative.
Copy.
All right, so did you do the load on respawn, Wicked?
It went to load on, yes. Saved.
Excellent. So then go ahead now, get in line. Now you guys will notice on the public server, there are things that separate us from pubs. One of those things is going to be like Mother just did, putting your weapon on your back. Pubs are going to look at you and they're going to be confused, because pubs aren't going to know how to put their weapons on their back. Go ahead and do that right now.
I'm missing the key for that.
No, you're not. Hold 0. High speed. Now, pretty much the rule of thumb is this. If you see a claw or a fang doing something that is SV3 style, that's been established in training, you're supposed to mimic their behavior. Mimicry is the best form of flattery, but it also shows that you're paying attention to what the SV3 way is. So SV3, we're going to want to be in a calm posture when we deal with people. We're going to want to look at ease. The guys that look at ease are the high-speed guys. Because high-speed guys are calm and collective, right? Slow is smooth, smooth is fast, right? So it's the same thing with that. Slow is calm in essence, okay? So we want to always have this calm demeanor to us when we're dealing with them. It's also the same thing if we ever got to get after them about something like cursing or anything of that nature. Make sure that you do it calmly. And so remember, Cubs are responsible for enforcing the rules of conduct. So make sure, I think it was Arctic last night was actually telling somebody to stop cursing. Things of that nature, which was really interesting because Arctic has no time with SV3 whatsoever, and he was already enforcing the rules of conduct. And whenever you hear 0 on, 0 is always enforcing the rules of conduct. It doesn't really matter what your rank is, you know, that's how you should be doing it. If you enforce the rules of conduct, that's what will make the quality of this SV3 experience much better. If people are looking for me to always be in to enforce it, what that does is it makes it to where it's not quality, there's no quality control going on, it's just ends up being my attitude that people are thinking is the issue. But it's not. It's an ROC issue. So everybody's expected to enforce it. If it's seen that you're around people and you're a Cub or you're a Claw and you're not enforcing the ROC, you actually will not be considered a Claw for much longer if it's seen as that. So this is a duty that is expected of you guys. Speak up, be assertive, and control the space. You guys are SV3, so you need to control the SV3 space, and don't back down to anybody. If they're being intimidating or anything like that, call the admin and have the admin pick them. What you guys are also going to notice, once you become a Claw, you guys actually are going to receive admin information. So if you're the only one running around on the server, you'll be able to kick players and things of that nature if there being a problem, and you'll be able to restart the mission if it's not running smoothly. So you'll be given all that information, but it's going to be given in your Claw membership area on the website, so you'll have a membership area for that as well. All right, so before I proceed, does anybody have any questions about this segment that they just encountered?
Negative.
All right, so everybody understands this is called the loadout phase. Every time you jump into a public server as a Cub, this is your loadout, so you get this gear. Now, if we come to find that this tent thing or this sleeping pad on my side, my left side, is ineffective, then it won't be a part of your loadout, and you just got to self-correct and fix your loadout to where it's not a part of it, because I really don't know if it works yet. The sleeping bag does. I tested it. It does work. It required me to edit the actual description file of the mission, and that's why they don't work in other missions, because there has to be a menu system set up for you to be able to choose your spawn points, and I had no idea about that. I just learned that today. So if you don't see it working in other missions, it's because it's not an SV3 mission, and it doesn't have that feature in it. So that might be why they don't work in other missions. So I'll try to make sure.
Had that menu, so it should work.
The pub server, you're talking about the one from last night?
Yeah, just today when we responded, it has that spawn.
The spawn menu? Are you talking about in the Bohemia Escape from Altus mission, or the one I did last night?
The one just before we hopped on this server, the one we were playing.
Not the one from last night.
It gave me the menu to like click on spawn, click on people and spawn off of them.
Yeah, because that Bohemia built that, so that's why it's in there. That's a Bohemia mission. So they have those options, and I never knew how to work that until last night when you guys were doing the tents. So it's probably in all the Bohemia missions, they probably have that menu. Most other missions you'll see, they don't have that menu. And it has to be scripted in to the mission. Okay, so that said, that's the camping introduction, the loadout introduction, which then leads to the staging area introduction. Okay? But before we do that, same process you just did. Same process you just did. You're going to move over to the line towards the chopper. You're going to put down your primary ruck. You guys have it right now because you have your assault gear on. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to go put the gear on that I'm wearing. You're going to go reload that. And then, actually, just do that real quick. I'll just tell you step by step. Go ahead and get your gear back on, your load, your wild one. If you want to, though, save this one as your combat load. So wild combat. Wild underscore combat before you change out. Wild underscore combat. All right, once you have your primary gear on, go ahead and face me. Okay, so the nature of cubs with the wildlings. So remember, the group is called wildlings. It's hard to say, actually. I have a hard time saying it, wildlings. So I'll just call you wilds, but it's called wildlings. Wilds are disciplined. They're the opposite of what the name sounds like. We're not wild. We're disciplined. So with that, always keep your space clean. So in that, whenever you guys enter into the mission area and you're going to go into the loadout phase, always go to something that has like a line or something that will be orientated. The team lead at the time will tell you maybe the area and designate it, and set your packs down and make sure everything is clean. So don't just get in, set it down next to the arsenal. Don't do anything next to the arsenal. So for example, maybe we would move off to the side. Maybe we would move forward. Side is probably better because it's away from the other guy. So for example, loadout area. So say Cub Zero's in charge and he says, okay guys, loadout area is going to be over here. So everybody comes over here. Come on over. So you see how right here there's kind of a line where it starts to fade, where the road starts to fade. So then this would be like a loadout area. It's still a little too close to the arsenal, but it's fine for this demonstration. So everybody create a space now and put down your primary rucks. You want them to kind of be online as much as possible. You guys could even form a square. So say for example, if I came over here and I put mine down right here, and another guy put his down. In fact, that's the SOP. Let's form a square. So those of you guys with your primary rucks on the outskirts, come closer and kind of form a square. There you go, because it's more compact. Okay? So now, go inside the arsenal and grab yourself a assault pack. Once you got the assault pack, come back over here. Alright, so you guys remember that, wait for them to get over here. Don't do anything yet. Alright, so make sure, don't make any moves until the instruction is given. So we can always make sure everybody's on the same page. Okay, so Zero in the future. Team lead is going to be in the center of the square, giving instructions and making sure everybody's on point. So your job, Zero, would be, for example, to scan everybody, make sure everybody's squared away. And that's you're going to be doing weapons and equipment check on everybody, okay?
Hey, firm, I'm writing down.
Good, excellent. Alright, who do we got over there still?
It's Wicked.
Yeah, you only want to, all you had to do is switch out to an assault pack, that's all. Don't put any content in that assault pack. Everybody's assault pack is content free right now, correct?
I can't get the launcher off.
The way you take the launcher off is you go to the launcher area and go all the way to the top and select none.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So there should be absolutely nothing in your assault pack because I had the regular items that we had in our carry-all.
Yeah, you're not. All you were supposed to do is grab an assault pack. Your items are in this bag, so you should not have an assault pack with items in it. Your assault pack should be empty. The instruction was to put an assault pack on, not to load up your combat fighter.
I didn't load anything in it. All I did was switch into an assault pack and then put all these items into it.
It put what items in?
Like all the items that are in the carry-all. I mean, the carry-all still has all the items that it has inside of
It
it.
shouldn't.
This assault pack
Yeah.
also has items into it.
Did that happen to anybody else?
You did something wrong. I have an empty.
Yeah, you loaded.
Negative.
Yeah, you probably loaded. So what you want to do is go ahead and take that little assault pack you're wearing, put it into the inventory of that big crate, the cargo crate, and then just
Copy.
go into the arsenal and only select the backpack area and the assault pack. Don't load anything. You want it empty. It's got to be empty, gentlemen. The key here is emptiness. And I don't mean to be all zen with you. The value of a duel is its empty space. Not
Was I supposed to keep
frame.
the bedroll sleeping bag?
You don't have to.
Copy.
You kind of should have, but I didn't say you should. So disregard. This is a new thing that we're doing. So you don't need it because one of us is going to be able to test it anyway.
Copy.
The bedroll on our side is not important. I don't even know if it works. I don't even know what it's part of. I think it's part of Ace or something. Has anybody ever used the bedroll before? No.
Negative.
All right, so we don't
Negative.
even know if it works. So we're going to test it.
It's weird. The game gives you the option to weapon.
To put it in a weapon slot.
Like, you know how you have the option to weapon your pistol? It gives you the option to weapon your respawn 10.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything though when you do that. Alright, so don't do anything else right now, gentlemen, so everybody just hold on. Alright, so all you should be doing, you shouldn't be going through gear. All you should be doing is just putting an assault pack on, Mother. Yeah, it
I
should
was
just
saving
assault
it.
pack, that's
I
all.
was saving
Is it? No, you shouldn't save it.
What, I shouldn't say the assault pack?
No, you don't want to save it. It's okay though. It doesn't hurt.
Great.
I hope you didn't save it in any of the other slots that I had you save things in, did you?
I saved it in the combat slot.
You shouldn't have, because it doesn't have gear in it.
Awesome. All right.
It's okay. It's all right. You'll get used to it. So right now it should be empty, right? Everybody's assault packs are empty, correct?
Affirm.
Correct.
Affirm.
Copy.
All right. So this is a part of your loadout system process. I just didn't do it in order. When you come in and you grab your sleeping bag, you put your sleeping bag in your pack first, and you follow that process. Then you go back and you grab an empty assault pack. Empty. Then you come back and you do this. Go ahead and switch your slots now, your backpack slots, to your primary backpacks, and that's going to put your assault pack on the ground. So remember, slot switching. So nobody should have two bags on the ground at once. Slot switching. Now, just like the sleeping bag, select your primary backpack and look at its content area and drag the little assault pack into the content area of your primary bag, not slots. You shouldn't switch it. You should be dragging it into the content area. So, Wicked, go ahead and go into the inventory, like select the little bag right now, and click on your big bag and look at its content area, and drag the little bag into the content area of the big bag, not the slot. There you go. Now, everybody should be familiar by now, after all this exercising. You should understand the difference between the slot area and the content area. Is anybody confused about the slot area and the content area? You navigate
Negative.
your uniform's content by left-clicking on your uniform slot. You navigate your vest content by left-clicking on your vest slot. And you navigate the backpack content by left-clicking on the backpack slot. So those are all slots, is what those are called. So the content is the area below it. So remember, whenever you're trying to take something off the ground, if it's a uniform and it's empty, you're dragging it into the content area. Don't drag it into your uniform area or anything like that. You drag it into the content area of the backpack. So is everybody familiar with how you're going to load your sleeping bag and how you're going to load your assault pack into your primary backpack?
Check.
So this is called a kit bag. That's what we're going to call this from here on out. Write that down if you need to. It's called our kit bag. Our kit bag is our primary ruck. It's not the small stuff. Okay, so look at your inventory right now, and remember, you can't save it with the assault pack and the sleeping bag inside of it. It won't save. So you have to do this when you come in, but you guys should know that this is going to be really fast if you do it the way you've been shown. So when you load out, you grab a little assault pack, you grab a sleeping bag, and you put them in your primary ruck. So the way you can do that to be fast is you just put your primary ruck down, and then you go grab a sleeping bag, and you can actually put it right next to your primary ruck. And then you run back and you grab an assault pack, and then you put it right next to your primary ruck. And then once you got these two things there, you just put your primary ruck on, select its content area, and drag both items into it. Does that make sense? You'll figure out
Copy.
your own system to make it fast. But remember, you want to expedite the process, so do it quick. So some of these were just examples of how you can do it fast. All right. So when you die, you're going to now respawn with your combat gear. You're not going to respawn with your big backpack on. And the objective is that before we even get into a fight, we're going to drop these big backpacks down at a location that's going to be our staging area. So that's the SOP. So every time you come into the public server, that's your SOP. You should look exactly the way you look right now. You should have exactly the inventory you have in your pack right now. Take notes of your inventory. If someone says, well, I forgot that in the future, it means you didn't take notes and you should have taken notes. So that's what should be in your inventory. So now you're not going to have to worry about it, because if you saved your inventory, the only new items is your assault pack and your sleeping bag. Everybody copy?
Copy.
Check.
Now, because of this, you can't carry a tent because you have all those items inside your primary bag. But what can happen is the team lead can have one of you guys not carry a sleeping bag with you, but carry a tent instead, because a tent is how the whole group spawns into that area. Now, make sure you are not in a group with a public player when you set up that tent. You do not want public players able to spawn in on your tent. So that's when you use Ace to leave the group that you're in, and you guys join the same group with each other. Does everybody understand how to do that with Ace? Let's go ahead and do that right now. We're all going to join on 0. So leave whatever group you're in right now and join 0's group.
Everyone's in but Biggles.
So I just hit leave group, and that's in team management. Now I'm going to join on 0.
I think even though a lot of you guys are already in the group, he's gonna one-shot the people. It's just
Now I just joined his group. Now I'm with 0, okay? So everybody leave their group and then go join on 0 just to do it, just to show you know how to do it. So go to group management, leave group, then go over to 0 and use the, not the self-interaction, but use the interact on others, and then scroll over and join group on him. It's in interaction, and then join group.
thank you for
Now 0, go ahead and become the team leader of that group, 0.
Wait, I'm in the group, aren't I, Zero?
Yeah, but leave it first if you didn't leave it already. Leave
Copy
the group
that. Copy
so
that.
you know how to leave.
Just to familiarize yourself with Oceans, because you don't want to be the same.
This is orientation. You know, this is so that everybody knows how to use all the mechanisms, all the mechanics.
Okay,
Alright,
so
so
you left it.
is everybody in 0's group now?
Yeah,
Wicked's
dude, I'm coming back.
So you go to interaction. So you want not self. Don't do self control. Do just the Windows key on him, and that's interaction with him. And then go to interaction, and then join group.
Okay, it's not pulling up anything.
All right.
You're
So
tapping my
are you?
shoulder. Here, let me see
Yeah,
back.
that's
You're a
weird.
little too close, probably.
Yeah, you're probably too close. Back up away from him a little bit. Mother and mainframe, stand by this cone. Right where I'm at.
Good job.
Big will stand over here. For me. Wicked, go stand next to 0. Alright, next what we're going to do is we're going to change the color of our wilds so that on the HUD we can identify each other better. So you're going to go to control windows for self-interaction, and Biggles and I are going to be red. 0 and Wicked is going to be green, or yellow. No, change it to yellow. And then the last 2 of you are going to be blue. So you go to team management to do that. Biggles is showing up as red right now for me. Wicked is showing up as yellow, and you guys are showing up as blue. Does everybody else see the same thing? The colors.
Affirmative.
Yeah.
Copy.
This is how you can identify who your wild is. Okay, so you can be able to see them, and you should be able to see on the HUD now. We're gonna space ourselves a little bit. Zero and Wicked, go ahead and back up a little bit. Now, go ahead and use your radio to communicate.
Affirm, that's the only thing I've heard from you.
Copy that. This is Wicked.
Yeah, you cut out whatever you just said before.
Comms check, comms check. Is everybody reading me loud and clear? Over.
Affirm.
Okay, so everybody.
Everybody should see right now that that the colors are set up on their HUD. Everybody see that?
Affirmative. Affirm.
All right, let's pull it back together.
All right, come back over here, gentlemen. Let's get in a circle. Okay, so is anybody unclear about the way the heads-up display works? So that you can see your guys when you're moving in formation. It's the way to be able to keep track of your members. You want to make sure you're always looking at it. It increases situational awareness. So now everybody here knows how to rotate their head and everything like that. So I'm not going to go into stuff like that. So is the loadout SOP? Is everybody grasping it? Is it all good? Everybody got it?
Yep.
Check.
All right, so the key is to show it when you get into the public server that you do it. When you guys are grouped together and you have this unique appearance to you, it's going to make public folk encouraged to ask you why and to see what you're about, because you're not running around looking like everybody else. You've got your own theme going on, so they're going to be curious. It shows group cohesion. So do not stray from it if you are a cub. If you're looking to be a rogue civ, feel free to go back and do as you see fit. As a rogue civ, you can do whatever you want to do. You're just not going to get the resources that the cubs and the claws and the fangs are going to get.
Plus, you can be seen as a threat. This time.
Yeah, you can be seen as a threat. If you're not a cub or a claw or a fang, if you're a rogue civ, then you're going to be not identified properly. And you can't create a rogue civ savage unless you are a claw. So only claws can create actual rogue savages. So rogue civs are just individuals. They're not a part of a savage. Once a claw creates a savage, though, he can have the freedom to run it in any format he wants. If he wants it to be democratic, it can be democratic, and so on and so on and so on. But a claw running a savage, a rogue savage, is not going to have access to SV3 resources, comms, or relations. He can use SV3 space, such as TeamSpeak, and he can be on the server, but he's not going to be in the same rooms, and he's not going to be treated as a part of the SV3 command system. Now, if a Fang goes and runs with a rogue savage, that Fang can communicate with other Fangs and will be considered a part of the communication structure, but he will not be considered SV3 anymore. So they no longer carry those ranks with them, but they can still be recognized as leaders of rogue savages. Does that make sense to everybody?
Affirmative.
Yes.
It's a unique system, so it'll take some time to get familiar with it. Okay, so now we've covered loadout. We covered our kit bags, what everything's supposed to look like. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get into a truck, and we're going to practice loading our gear into the truck, and we're going to see how many bags we can get into the truck. And then we are going to travel up to the old AAF post up top there on the hill, and we're going to practice setting up a staging area, okay?
Copy that.
Copy that.
Check.
That's all double time to the trucks.
Just these off-roads, right?
Yeah, just the off-roads.
You got a certain color you like?
Alright, so in the future, it's going to be the FIA trucks because they have backpacks on the side of them, so it'll look more RP. So go ahead and, one at a time, Wicked, go ahead and put your bag inside this blue truck. Alright, did it look like it took up a lot of space or no?
Yeah.
How much space did it take up?
Right now it's about like an 8.
1/8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad because that means 8 people to the car then possibly. All right, Zero,
Yeah.
you put your bag in the blue car. Mainframe, put your bag in the blue car. What's its inventory at now?
A little less than half.
Yeah, about 40%.
All right, Pickles, go ahead and put your bag in the car. Mother, go ahead and put your bag in the car. Okay, so Zero, go ahead and get into the driving seat, and everybody else go ahead and load in. How many does these trucks fit?
6.
Yeah, it looks like 4 in the back and the front.
Okay, so you guys are loaded up. Everybody go ahead and raise your weapons. Alright, so just like you guys naturally are doing right now, so the 2 guys in the back can't shoot, you know, over these guys in the front, you know, and so on. So you're going to want to make sure that, for example, you watch right, they're watching the left side, and these 2 guys are watching the back, so don't cross your weapons in front of the guys in front of you. And those are the angles you can cover. Those sectors are the sectors you want to cover and watch. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and Zero, go ahead and bring us up to that area now. You can
Is
take
that-
it through
is that
you can
area
go
clear?
off-road. Yeah, it's all clear. So when we take the truck out, everyone's going
I'm gonna have to go to radios over.
When we take the trucks out, we're going to want to make sure that we take it slow, but also Zero, use the terrain to avoid anywhere you would be seen by an enemy who's at a distance. So go on the left side real quick. So when using the vehicle or when traveling, always use the terrain to stay in defilade, which means that the enemy should not be able to have line of fire on you. Always use the terrain to protect you and shield you visually and contact-wise from any potential enemy position. So the more you have
7,
things
rally
around
up.
you, the
5,
better it is.
return to formation. 6, return to formation. 4, rally up.
Alright, so when you dismount from the vehicle, everybody go
Report
ahead and go back
position.
up into the vehicle. When you dismount from the vehicle, you're going to want to, just like a chopper, you're going to want to get out of it, and you're going to want to rush away from it, and drop to the ground and prone into a 360 defense. Now, where you're sitting in the vehicle is going to determine, everybody can hear me, correct?
Affirm.
Affirmative.
Where you're sitting in the vehicle is going to determine which angle you're covering. So, for example, who's this right here on the right side? My right. Is that Zero?
Me.
Alright, Biggles. When Biggles dismounts, go ahead, dismount Biggles. Biggles is going to take this angle right here, just like he just did, and he's going to get down. The guy on the left, go ahead and get out. The next guy that's back, there you go, and you're going to go off to the right, and you're going to get down. So your corners of your vehicle determines it. You guys are going to be the front corners. So go ahead and get out and go to your front corners.
Report position.
Alright, so when you do the rush, it's I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. That's the distance you want to go. So you guys up front, go a little bit further away from the vehicle. I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. Is kind of an idea of how long you should be traveling. There you go. Now the driver's probably going to be the team lead. So he's going to get out now.
There's someone
He's
running
going to go
up
crouch. Say again, Biggles?
there. There's a guy running up the hill.
Yeah, he's with us. He's an AI. I don't get him yet. I'll figure that out later. Alright, so the team lead's job right now is to go around, make sure everybody's good, everybody's up. Everybody's got their comms, everybody's good. So you just do a systems check real quick on everybody.
Okay, you should be facing that way, Wicked. Even though that guy's coming, he's okay. Don't worry about him. So that would be his sector. You want to make sure you never take your eyes off your sector. Alright, so he would do a systems check real quick and you guys dismounted. Don't get out of the vehicles casually.
We're not hearing you. My bad.
Comms check.
Copy.
So when you get out of the vehicles, make sure you always get out of the vehicles using this standard operating procedure if you are expecting enemy contact or you are in the AO. So once you leave safe areas, this is what you're doing. You get out and you cover your sectors. We'll do chopper elements later on, probably not today. We're just sticking to the basics for now. Alright, everybody go ahead and get online at the this building right here that I'm looking at.
Alright, so our objective right now would be, let's say we're going to attack the tower. There's no enemy there right now. This is all going through the SOP. So, Cubs always need to have an understanding of the wild process. And what the wild process is this. If you do not have an Overwatch element, we're going to call that Eagle Eye, okay? If you do not have an Overwatch element, you are not a wild. Does everybody understand that?
Affirmative.
Wild implies from the very start that there's an Overwatch element. Now let's say, for example, though, you don't have enough guys. So that's the exception. What is enough guys? If there are 4 of you, 2 of you is supposed to be the Eagle Eye. You're supposed to be the Overwatch. Let's call it the Eagle Claw. Eagle Eye is going to be the use of a drone. So Eagle Claw. Eagle Claw is the Overwatch. And when there's at minimum 4 of you, so 2 wilds, 1 wild is going to be the boar wild, the one that goes up and close, and that's a boar. That's the animal for the assault team. Okay? B-O-A-R, boar, like a wild boar. Okay? So Eagle Claw overwatches the movement of the boar, the wild boars. Now, wilds again are two-man fighting teams. That's what a wild is. Now, Cubs do not make the mistake and call it, well, it's a buddy team. No, it's not. It's not a buddy team. Buddy team is just wherever I go, he goes. That's all a buddy team is. A wild is actually a two-man fighting team that uses wild techniques. So if you hear anybody who's not a Cub, a Claw, or a Fang using the word wild and telling somebody it's just a buddy team, you have to correct them because it's just not true. Because they're going to say, oh, just buddy system. No, it's not just buddy system. There's techniques that will be employed and you're going to learn those techniques. And that's what makes it a wild. And it's not a wild if it's 2 civs. If it's 2 civs, it's not a wild. When it's 2 Cubs, Cubs are going to behave in a wild manner. When it's 2 Claws and 2 Fangs, they're going to behave in a wild manner. So civs don't really have that position to be talking about what's a wild yet. Everybody tracking?
Affirmative.
Copy.
Okay, so if the tower, if that's our objective is to move on that tower, again, there's no AI over there, but if that was our objective, this is when we would now, once we get to this position, we're going to set up the staging area. Now, who believes they know maybe a good distance from the area where we're expecting contact would be to set up a staging
Ready!
area? How far away should we be?
500 meters.
Alright, so Mother says 500 meters. Anybody else got a suggestion?
Say again the distance of the scenario.
So if the distance from expected enemy contact or enemy the AO or what have you, what distance should you be at to set up the staging area?
I would say at the East 800.
Say about a
Because a
kilometer.
decent marksman can hit you from 1,000 out.
Was that convincing enough, Mother, for you to change your position on that?
It was convincing enough.
Does anybody else have another suggestion? I have 500.
500 is still in
800.
combat effectiveness range. which means
1
these are
kilometer.
Still going to be a decent shot.
So, Wicked, why are you standing so far away, Wicked? Why don't you come over here real quick?
Oh, sorry.
So we have 1 click, 800 meters and 500 meters. Why do you say one click, Wicked?
For a staging area of all of our gear from where we think we're going to engage the enemy.
Yes.
I think a kilometer is, it's, you can reach out. A kilometer was a, well, I would just figure that a kilometer is a good staging area than to move off the staging area a little bit away from the gear up to your OP to actually where you're going to set up your observation post, which could be a little bit closer, I guess.
Am I the only one hearing Wicked double?
Yeah, I don't hear him double micing.
Oh, okay.
Technically, you and him are in the same group right now, and that might be what Biggles was talking about earlier. Biggles, did you believe there was a mic issue he was having?
Yeah, he was talking in-game and but I muted his in-game, so I don't know, I'm not hearing it.
How far away right now is the tower, which I stated would be our objective target? How far away from us is that right now? Who could tell me?
Say probably somewhere between
1.1 click.
say between 700 and 800 meters.
So I have between 7 and 8. I got 1.1. What else? Anyone else got a number for me?
1.1.
All right. So somehow two of you came up with the same answer. So Biggles, what was
Used
the
our
method?
resources.
What resource did you use to be able to get the exact distance of that target from our position right now?
I open my map and shift like on the tower, and then it tells me how far it is from me.
Everybody go ahead and do that right now. Go ahead and open your map, hold down shift, and then left click on the tower.
Be advised, towers on hill 205. Shows up.
Now, if you all look behind you real quick, step away from the wall and look towards the direction of the tower,
Swivel your head to.
you're going to see a marker. Yeah, you can swivel your head, and that's going to tell you the distance of that object. You can also do the same thing of confirm positions of the enemy. If you want to be able to do a quick resource usage to range with how far the enemy is from you, just open up your map, hold shift, and then left click on the enemy's position, and then you'll get its exact range. Hopefully, we'll learn range estimation a little bit beyond that, but we'll cover range estimation when it comes to claw elements. All right, so with that answer, about 800 meters to a click is a good idea. It's going to be based on the terrain. You're going to want to be probably about 600 to 800 meters near the AO if it's forested, and if you have good coverage and you have good kind of like egress points and things like that. If you're in open area, you're definitely going to want to be more in the 800 to 1,000. Does that make sense?
Affirmative.
Now, did everybody understand Zitto's argument that 500 meters is still within combat effective range?
Check. Yes.
So the average infantry soldier, the individual fighting man of most militaries, that's the range that they're usually trained to be effective at, which is about 500 meters. Usually a lot of times with the combat rifle, that's what determines whether a rifle is considered a combat rifle, is that it can reach out and be effective at 500 meters. So I believe that's what the United States Army considers to be combat effective range. So that's kind of like just the standard. So being a little bit past that, being beyond the combat effective range is kind of key if you want them to have to reach out and touch you. Now, obviously, wherever you set up your staging area, you want there to be plenty of cover and concealment. Now, cover is that which protects you from incoming fire, such as rounds on contact. So cover would be like, say, for example, a brick wall or things of that nature. Obviously, in real life, concrete cinder blocks can be shot to pieces and things of that nature, but however, they will slow down the ability for the enemy to have good fire on you. So cover is something that shields you from enemy fire. Concealment is something that shield you from enemy visibility. So know the difference between the two. Your objective is to try to have cover and concealment, something that's both as much as possible. Does everybody understand that?
A-frame.
Affirmative.
Sir.
Okay, so since we are a click out, would this be considered open terrain or covered terrain from here to the tower?
I consider it open.
All right, so I have open as one answer. Anyone else?
Are we talking about the tower behind you guys, Fog, up there? That I'm looking
Yeah,
at?
it's east, southeast of our position.
Oh, okay. So this is open terrain.
I stand corrected. It's pretty much east of our position.
Okay.
So you call it open. Anyone say the opposite? Anybody consider that to be a covered approach or concealed approach? All right, so everybody considers that to be open.
Well, we can move down into that valley and approach it down there. And honestly, are we pitching our tents behind these buildings?
Well, we're going to figure that out after we first figure out this one variable. So that's
This
what you,
town is in line of sight to
this town is in line of sight to the tower, so that would consider it to be open.
open.
So if we move down into the valley, if a guy gets on top of the hill, he'll have open sight on us, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
So that's what considers it open. So covered approach or a concealed approach, let's call it concealed, would be trees, building structures, forest area, things of that nature. So for the most part, at this side of the island, we're pretty much in open territory. So that's going to determine how far away you set up shop. So, for example, Zero just pointed out the fact that that the approach from this angle, they would have eyes on from that direction. But on this side of the building, we see that our base is right to our west, so we know that enemy contact's not going to come from the west, correct? So in that sense, then, since we're one click out from the location right now, do you think that this would be the good place to set up a staging area?
Yes, sir.
Affirmative.
But how would we do it, though? We wouldn't just lay our bags down right here, would we?
No.
And set it up indoors in one of these ones.
Why would you? So why indoors?
Just for concealment.
Okay, so you spawn in, right? You don't have someone just looking at you immediately as soon as you spawn
Correct.
in, right?
Correct.
Okay. So we're going to test with both options. So let's go ahead and have yellow team. Go ahead and set your sleeping bags up in the shack that I'm looking at right now. Let's call this safe house for now.
Be advised, we lost our bags.
Oh, and we just learned something very valuable, didn't we? Do not.
I can put how many? I can put 6 of my backpacks.
6 of your backpacks in what?
In another truck if I want to go back down.
No, it's okay. I'm just going to put the arsenal here.
We still have these bed rolls. Can you pitch these?
No, they don't pitch. So everybody, take note of that and make sure you remind me in the future. Because of the respawn script, the vehicles respawn if they're idle for a while. So let me put an arsenal down so we can get this squared away. So don't use the vehicles as your... if you do, make sure you... I should have had you guys get your bags out as soon as you got out. Or as soon as you set up security in one at a time. So you can do that. If you use the vehicle to bring your bags into position, what you do is set up security, and then the team lead will have one man at a time go in and fetch his bag and make sure his sector's covered. So the team lead will cover that sector. Does that make sense as an SOP?
Correct.
Copy.
Alright, let me set up an arsenal. Now you guys have noticed that we're independent, right? Have you seen your colors on the map?
Correct. Affirmative.
All right, let's go ahead and grab your Wild One gear. The arsenal's right here. And then let's have Yellow set up their sleeping bags inside this shack right here. want to set it up? Oh, okay, yeah, you guys got to go through the system. Ah, that's your test. So this is a test right now. Let's see who remembers how to get their sleeping bag and their assault packs and everything all set. What is Zero doing over there? I forgot you had to do that. Let's see who wins. Zero already got it. Who's second? Who's second? Once you're done, tell me so I know who's second.
Done. Never mind, no, I'm not. Done.
Alright, who was that? Was that Mother?
Sleeping bags pitched.
Oh, do you want us to pitch them right now too, as well?
Alright, so
Or are we pitching them, or are we putting them in our bag?
Nah, only yellow team should be pitching them.
yellow team is putting theirs in the room. Uh-oh, Wicked looks confused. Talk to him, Zero.
Your bag. Now, open your backpack inventory. Go to sleep.
Okay, so you two, pitch yours outside. So pitch them along the line of this building.
Inside the inventory. Here, Rob.
Biggles, you and I will be next to this bush.
Awesome, now run in here. Throw your sleeping bag that's inside your rucksack on the ground. Put the sleeping bag on the ground. Once the sleeping bag's on the ground, switch it to the backpack.
Alright, so Biggles, go ahead and convert the contents
You gotta look at your backpack.
of your primary ruck. Convert them into your assault ruck and leave your primary ruck behind.
So now put the sleeping backpack back on the same slot.
Alright, gentlemen, go ahead and take out the
Okay,
assault
now
pack
scroll wheel.
and convert the contents of your primary
Scroll,
ruck
and then can't
into
put it
the
back down.
contents of
Leave it there.
your assault pack.
Hey, Ghost. Take a look inside our humble abode.
Excellent. Alright, so now take your assault packs out and switch your content of your primary ruck over to your assault pack. Not inside there, Wicked. All gear inside now. Go into your primary ruck and take out your assault pack from the primary ruck and switch over your gear from your primary ruck, put it into your assault pack. Not the arsonist Zero.
I need my assault pack.
Oh, okay. So you didn't win.
Mine switched it out. My sleeping bag, so we have. Put my sleeping bag in, and it did switch it out. Put it back first.
What pack's empty? Who said that? Your carry-all is empty?
Something.
Excuse me.
You got a left click on it with it. Yeah, okay. How could it be empty? Did you load?
Took it out of your
And you loaded your loadout? Yeah, you're supposed to do the loadout. Go do your wild loadout. Alright, so Bigger, you squared away?
Yeah, but the survival can't fit in my backpack, or I have to drop something.
Yeah, they won't. Yeah, don't worry about the survival fatigues.
Be advised, I just crashed trying to get my backpack out.
Don't worry about the survival fatigues, gentlemen. Leave the survival fatigues in the primary bag, over.
Copy.
Alright, Mother, come on over here next to Biggles.
Six,
Alright, so
regroup.
what you had to do was just do loadout. And now what you want to do is you want to go drop your primary bag so that you can go in here and get empty assault pack.
And all we needed was we need the full loadout with your earplugs and all of that stuff.
You always do. You always go to wild loadout, wild one, and just load the whole thing. You never go through the gear yourself. You just do
Copy
the
that.
loadout. You can always do it. Like you can do it right now. You can just click load and just do wild loadout, and then it will load it.
Okay, got it.
All right. So now that it's loaded, come on over here and drop your primary bag. And then you're gonna go in and get the little assault pack once you do that, and make sure it's empty. All right. So Mother, you got all your gear and your you got all your gear except for your survival fatigues, right? Inside your little assault pack.
Check, yes.
High speed, excellent. Okay, you two, can you go ahead and stand against the wall real quick?
Six, regroup.
Squared away, mainframe.
Yeah, except for I don't know where the NVGs came from.
Put them in your assault pack and go ahead and stand up on the wall.
Alright, they won't fit. Yeah, my assault pack's full.
Put them in your vest or your uniform.
Yeah,
Okay, so
none. Everything is full. I have no room for them.
Are you carrying your survival fatigues?
No.
Wicked, go ahead and maybe you have to drop some ammunition, mainframe. Wicked, go ahead and go switch your primary contents, your primary backpack's contents. Put it all in your little assault pack now. So you want to come back over here.
Copy.
Take everything but your survivor fatigues and put it into your little assault pack.
Four, fall back. Two, form on me.
Just leave the survival fatigues and
Six, regroup.
Pack, and then go pick your primary pack on your sleeping bag.
So because Zero timed out, is his sleeping bag still going to be in there so he can spawn on that?
That's a good question. We're about to find out. Is he back in yet?
I don't think so. I didn't see his name pop up.
000. This is Ghost Dog. Come in. Over.
Four, regroup.
Copy that. Then go ahead and grab the talking meters up there. Over.
Two, fall back. Six, rally up.
You said grab what after that?
Be advised, go ahead and grab one of the trucks. Don't put your bag in it. Just go ahead and jump inside and come on up here. Over.
Hey, can I go around the side of this building here and take a bathroom break?
A-firm. Yeah, Cubs, whenever you need to make a bathroom break, just let people know, and then just go into a position that looks like you would be taking a bathroom break.
Four, disembark.
Now, at the respawn thing, you did that afterwards, so it's going to when you die, it's going to respawn you with the one you saved on the fast box. You didn't do that on the same box.
Two, form on me.
And then what you want to do is load that one up and save that as your combat one when you get a chance. Alright, Biggles, go ahead and switch to blue. You're going to be with Mother. You guys going to do Eagle Crawl? go ahead and switch your. You gotta get
2, regroup!
a little assault practice and switch over your primary backpack's gears into the little assault pack. Biggest, can you go ahead and explain to Wicked how to put his content from his primary pack into his secondary pack? Copy.
The assault pack or the carry on? The carry on.
Two, rally up!
Yeah, thank you.
Alright, so there's going to be a small enemy presence up there. Big was at the watchtower, and the objective here though is to practice getting into overwatch position. There's only like 4 guys, so we're not really trying to kill them right now.
You said leave everything but the survival fatigues, right?
Yeah. No, leave the survival fatigues and take everything else.
Yeah, leave that in the backpack.
Yeah, leave the survival fatigues in the primary backpack. Alright, so go ahead and get on the wall. Alright, so everybody still has the tent, so that's going to be interesting, or everybody has a sleeping pad, so that'll be interesting to see how that works out.
2, rally up!
Okay, so here's the next
I actually
learning.
don't have a tent or a sleeping bag.
Yeah, you're fine. You don't need it.
Copy.
We don't even understand if it works yet, so we'll see though. You'll see if you don't click respawn fast. Wait when you're dead. Go ahead and check all the options that you have for respawning, and see. You should see one that says like camp, and then you should see one that might say somebody in the field, and that's one of us with these things. So we might actually have like, 6 respawn points. So we'll see, or more than that, because everybody set up. We might have 12 respawn points because of the sleeping bag. Okay, so next objective is to practice something very important. When you are starting off first with learning how to destroy an enemy, the common practice that I see that's putting people into error on public servers and all around is everybody always tries to get close to the enemy, and they want to get up into the
2, regroup!
and missions fail because of that. So let me be very clear about something. When you're starting off, you want to learn how to engage the enemy from as far away as possible. You want to put yourself in the most minimum amount of danger, and you want to be able to put the greatest amount of danger on the enemy. So for wildlings, marksmanship is very important. To become a claw, you're going to have to score 70 and above in marksmanship, and to become a fang, you're going to have to score 80 and above for marksmanship. And we're not doing assessments today, we're doing orientation training. So right now, the objective is going to be for everybody to practice being a eagle claw element. So we're going to be at a distance from our one-click, target objective. And the point here is to stress this, especially when you guys are few. Say there's only 2 cubs in, and everybody else is just pubs or 6.
2, return to formation!
You should be practicing bringing the enemy down from positions where you're about maybe 600 to 800 meters out from where he is. That's your first practice as a cub. Get very effective at doing it. It might not seem as fun, but it should, because you're going to be succeeding. You're going to be the one who's victorious, because you're not dying, and that's going to be important. Your kill to death ratio is significant. You have to reduce it. So if you killed 10, died 5, that's really not that good. If you killed 10, died 15, that's horrible. You want to really reduce it. Maybe a 1 to 10 ratio is the way to start off. But even then, that's not good. Try to stay alive. But 1 to 10 is how you know that you're kind of doing what you're supposed to be doing. So for every one of them, every one time you died, you should have killed 10 of them. But let's try to make it to where there's no dying. Everybody
2,
understand?
fall back!
Affirmative.
So the way we do this is we practice by getting further and further away from the enemy in the beginning. And we take them out from a place of solitude, a place where we don't have to watch our backs too much. So Eagle Claw elements are a part of the wild elements. They are a wild element that shoots from a distance. Okay? So that's the eagle. So always remember that symbol. So right now, all right, we're going to do that we're going to have 3 eagle elements moving in on the position. Now open up your maps and take a look at the terrain. Everybody sees the target objective. Is the target objective higher than all the areas that we have access to when we approach, or is it lower?
Higher.
I have one answer that says higher. Any contrary answer to that? Anyone think it's lower? So as you guys can see, the numbers are clearly the altitude, right? 120 feet above sea level, 110, or maybe these are meters because it's not the United States, right? So 120 meters above sea level, 128, 141, 147, 180, 205. So they got the high ground, correct?
Different.
Correct.
How do we conceal ourselves when approaching somebody who's on the high ground?
Through foliage and also using other terrain like the hills, backside of hills.
Exactly. So instead of skylining, which we all know not to do, we don't go up to the highest ridge line and just walk along the ridge and skyline where they can see our silhouette because of the horizon behind us, right? Everybody understands that's what skylining is, right?
Correct.
So instead, we're going to get on either the left side or the right side of those ridge lines because we still want high ground. We don't want to go down in the valley. So we would get up as
rally
far
up!
as we can without being visible on the opposite side. Does this make sense to everybody?
Affirmative.
Check.
Go ahead and follow me real quick. Let's get moving. Everybody go ahead and get online with me. So to my left and to my right. Everybody go ahead and take a look up there. Alright. You see those targets up there? This training center is going to be staying on the private server for you guys. So this private server is going to be accessible to you. I prefer you play on the public server to recruit people, but if you guys want to come in and train, you'll be able to do that. And you see how there's even targets as far up there, and you see how there's vehicles. Those vehicles is so that you can hit it with artillery, right? Or you can hit it with some armor busting devices, and they respawn back, so you can destroy them and they'll come back. This is your training center. It's going to get improved. So when you're back at base, you'll see that
form on me!
They're about 1,000 meters out from base. And you can see that because the area past it is about 1 click out. So you can engage targets 1 click out, and we're going to go over that a little bit later. But notice how when I'm looking over there, can I see any, with the naked eye, can I see any tangles?
Yeah. It'd be impossible almost.
Anybody got a scope on there trying to see it though?
Oh yeah, affirmative.
You got eyes on tangles?
I can see their heads.
You can see their heads, so Biggles can see their heads. Okay?
Are we actually talking about movers, or are we talking about steel plates up there?
No, the tangles. Actual target, human targets. Alright, so Biggles is at a higher elevation than everybody else, so that's probably why he can see them. But if you'll notice right, he can see them. So if he can
fall
see
back!
them, what does that mean?
They can see
They can
us.
see
you.
Yeah, so that means it would be a bad idea to be where we can be seen, right? So look at the terrain right now and tell me where would you want to traverse? Would you want to start moving to those southern edges, or do you want to move over here more east and get below that line? So left or right in essence, which one would you choose?
Left.
Left.
That's
I'll
2
take the
people saying
left.
left. That's 3 people saying left. Anyone saying right?
Let's see, this is our firing range over here to our right.
I would go right.
Who said they would
Actually,
go right?
I would go right. Yeah, I would
Mother.
go right as well.
Why would you go right?
Because this hill can conceal you.
Which hill?
this whole ridge line right here and conceal you from their position.
It's just covered in foliage. There's a lot of places to move, and
Two,
you're also
regroup!
not at the exact same altitude, but I mean it's almost a straight line up to that top peak up there.
Cubs on the left, go ahead and pull yourselves down here on the right, and let's get into a circle. Okay, so we had kind of like 50-50. 50 said left, 50 said right. Talk it out amongst yourself and tell me what the difference is and why you would say your position rather than the other.
I mean, well, right side already explained theirs.
If you go right, then if they get on that hill and just look over down the whole valley, you're basically trapped in that valley.
All right, everybody move to the right. All right, confirm or deny what Bigos said.
2, rally up!
We are trapped.
So, are you guys confirming what Bigos just said, or are you denying what he said?
I'm confirming.
Are we talking about if we were to move up this grassy side here, or if we were to go across over there and go up the much more lush and green and covered with shrubs and trees?
Okay, so you're saying pass through this valley, go all the way down, and go all the way up, right?
Yeah, I would say start down here at the low slope by the base, go up. You know, we
Well,
don't
no,
have
you have to start from here.
from
'Cause
here.
Yeah, because we're here.
Copy.
I was
Yeah,
just sticking with known elements because the firing range is directly behind us. If we push left, we don't really know what's behind us.
Yeah, I was just drop down through this valley. Maybe not, maybe just directly straight across, and then just get down to the trees down there in the washout, and move up the slope. Not even advancing towards
fall back!
the target, but just staying in line here, going up, and then 90-degree turn, and then just take the top almost to the ridge line, and that's almost putting you at eye level with them. I mean, like I said, it's lower in elevation, but it's higher than we are here.
So the most attractive thing to you is the trees.
The
covering
concealment, yeah,
Okay.
coming
Alright,
in up
so-
on that side.
Let's go take a look at the left real quick. Now that you're on the left, does it have the advantages you've seen, or does it have a disadvantage, or does it have the disadvantages that you didn't see previously?
It actually has advantages. I didn't realize you actually had a hill covering you up.
2, form on me!
Alright, who's way over there? Is that Wicked? Okay, so
Yeah, you shouldn't see it.
so you see there's trees over here as well, right?
Affirmative.
Alright, so now the question I have for you is this. Notice how no argument was given. There was the option of either left or right. Now that we've seen both, anybody change their positions?
Yeah, I'd go with left all day.
Yeah, I would come back over on this side. You're more concealed, the angle.
I didn't have visibility on this side. Only from my perspective, the right looked better, but we are definitely way more exposed on the right side.
Okay, so then I will ask this question. Is Biggles' recommendation and Zero's recommendation being affirmed or denied?
Being confirmed.
Yeah, affirmed.
Okay, so did you guys, has everybody paid attention to the process of deduction that was done to come to a conclusion about which
2,
one to choose?
form on me!
Affirmative.
All it did is it requires us to just look at both options, analyze them, see if one has disadvantages and one has advantages, and then when you check the opposite one, you try to see if it has either equal or less than, or greater than, right? Advantages and disadvantages. So when seeing that, the one primary thing that you pointed out was the concealment of the trees. So then you guys came to understand that over here, once you got a look, that's over here too as well. So then when you take a look back over on the right, you see that that's a long journey to get over to the other side to where the trees are, whereas over here, you almost have instant access to what you need over there, right?
Affirmative.
So does everybody see that that's all you guys employing observation and then reasoning, correct?
Copy.
Yeah, those who chose right side don't feel bad because I've been put in that same position where they decided to let me lead the squad like way back in.
2, return to formation!
It's one of my first times, and I decided that I was going to move to the right side. We were going after the same target we are now. So we were going to move on the right
Oh,
side.
it's all about
They peeked their
terrain
heads over the ridge.
familiarity.
I got the whole squad just wiped.
Yeah, it's about terrain familiarity. A lot of you guys actually still don't know Stratus, so you didn't know those trees were over here. You know, so that's why what you want to do is, even in your spare time, is get used to this island. Learn your AO. Your area of operation thus far is Stratus and Altus. Do flyovers on the terrain. All you guys got to do is go to multiplayer, go to new, and then create a new map. Put a player down on the map, and then put a chopper down, and then just fly around and get familiar with the terrain. Do recon, understand which areas are forested, which ones are not, and so on. So in this case, all we had to do is just go up and over the hill. So everybody was able to choose wisely once they had the same information. Everybody came to the same conclusion. Does that make sense?
Affirmative.
So do you guys all see that
2, regroup!
the decision-making processes in the wildlings is observation, investigation, right? Demonstration, and reason. Think of the scientific method. It isn't about rank. It isn't about name or any other kind of status. It's about which one is the best option. And the only way we can figure that out is through a deductive process. The only way we can figure out how to deduce what's best is we have to get eyes on and get our understanding on those options that we have available to us. Does everybody understand that method?
Affirmative.
Different.
All right, so you've determined then that the terrain on this side can conceal you and give you more efficient modes of travel to approach that target, right?
Affirmative.
Now, if that's the case then, and I'm not ruling out the right side right now either, I'm not even saying the left side was the best choice. The question I have for you guys is, if your objective is to find a placement for eagle elements, where would those
rally up!
placements be right now to be able to have good eyes on that targeted area? We want to eliminate them from at the most 800 meters, at the minimum 600 meters. So between 6 to 800 meters killing zone is what we want. How are we going to achieve that right now? I don't want to get anywhere closer than 600 meters to those tangles, and I want to eliminate every single one of them. So what do we do?
I would possibly just stay right here, close to these trees and the brush, to it having the most concealment, and it'd be
Can
the
you see
easiest
the
to
enemy?
Yeah, you don't have eyes on.
I can, yes.
You guys can see the enemy?
Are we looking for the actual core over there, or the targets?
No, we're talking about Op 4. And the question is, how many are there?
I can see one head from here.
Well, that's when you use someone useful as main.
Nope, there's no eagle eye in the sky.
2, rally up!
Only possible, you know, that, like you said, that's the high ground over there. If you want to go all the way southeast of the tower, put them on hill, 214, 224. 224 is one that's 680.
All right, so gentlemen, there's no position from us to them that would give us the advantage we need to be an Overwatch element and to be able to strike out at them from the appropriate distance and then know that there isn't other tangles on the other side of that hill. There's none. Now, I would ask that somebody try to prove me wrong right now if you can. If you know of a location, and you can prove me wrong to where you can get eyes on the top of that hill and the other side of the hill to make sure they don't have reinforcements or somebody else that you're going to miss, let me know where that location is right now.
That's the highest point on the whole map, isn't it?
2, rally up!
If you want to take the long shots, get to Air Station Mike.
So you would have to go all the way to Air Station Mike to be
Yeah,
higher?
you'd have to take a long hike.
I think that within itself would compromise us, though.
Not if you move effectively.
So in essence, that's a very high point, right?
Correct.
So then, is Eagle element actually the right way to approach this situation?
Negative.
He's got to deploy a drone or something.
Yeah, it's just to be able to see, but what about being able to, if we didn't have a drone?
you move closer.
So you
Yeah,
gotta
we'd have
you gotta get closer. You gotta get eyes on the area, right?
affirmative.
All right. So this is called Wild Snake. Okay. So
2,
Bigger
fall back!
and Mother, you're going to be a Wild Snake element. Your objective is to move close while receiving Overwatch from this far back from the other guys. Actually, these guys need to move in to about 600 meters, and you're going to move in as snakes. And your objective is only to get eyes on, count the enemy, determine what kind of gear they have, take notes, and then you're going to move back out of position to report. And if you've identified that you know all the enemy in that surrounding area, the Overwatch, the Eagle Claw element, once you get back, you'll rejoin them, and then you'll be able to determine if you can take them out from a distance. But once you get compromised, if you do get compromised, what's going to be your primary objective? Big was a Mother.
Get out of there.
So break contact, right?
Yep.
Now, that also means
Two,
that you don't
rally
have
up!
to return fire either. If you can use the terrain to bug out, and these guys are on the radio and they're watching, and any other tangos that tries to pursue you can get shot by them, then you don't need to fire, do you?
Negative.
Do you see a benefit or a disadvantage to firing on the enemy if you're that close to them?
Us firing at them?
Give
Drawing
away your
more
location.
attention to us. Yeah.
So you draw attention to you, so that would be a disadvantage. Any other?
The fact
Yeah,
that we
we-
got the low ground.
Alright, so you guys will be on low ground, so that's another disadvantage.
And the fact that we have to get all the way back here, and it's pretty far distance.
What about your sound profile?
Well, we have silencers.
You have suppressors, but you don't have them on right now, and you're not going to equip them yet, right? So if you were that close, you would want to use suppressors, probably, right?
Check, yeah.
2, fall back!
So, but let's say you don't have suppressed weapons. Do you notice how if you're up close on them, your sound profile is high and loud? That means anybody past them would be closer to your sound profile, just the same, right?
Copy.
Versus the Eagle Claw sound profile, which is going to be dissipated because they're further away, right?
Check.
So in a way, you give up, you alert more than just them that you're present with your sound profile. You also alert those that are within hearing range or better range of that location. And they'll be able to hone in and know that there's shooting going on. Now, obviously, if the enemy starts shooting at you, then their sound profile is going to alert their teammates too. But the thing is they don't know what weapons you're carrying. They don't know how many guns you have in the fight, right?
Yeah.
And so we don't want to give them any information. So we don't want them to know stuff about us. So that's why breaking contact, if you don't need to fire, and you just rely on Eagle Claw to do so. Now, obviously, if you're in a dangerous
2,
situation,
regroup!
and you need to fire, then you fire. You save your life. So self-preservation is obviously always in play. That's never asked to be otherwise. All right, so let's go ahead and give this a theoretical try, unless anybody has something else they wish to add. So where's the highest point that Eagle Claw needs to move to be able to have Overwatch on Snake Element? How would the Snake Element approach, and how would the Eagle Element guard them?
Eagle would have to be watching them from up high. Behind them, watching their line of sight, watching the direction they're moving in.
Well, we could probably traverse on the east side of this hill right here, so they could provide overwatch as we're moving around the east side of the hill, going to the valley, and then work our way up the hill, and that's where they can push up more south.
2, form on me!
And
So your approach is going to be on the east, so that means they got to be able to be in a position where they can see you, right?
check, yes.
All right, everybody follow me. Notice I'm going to drop. Everybody hear me?
Check.
All right, so notice I'm coming down and I'm automatically getting out of the line of sight of the target. So I'm not going to stay where he can see me. I'm going to use the terrain to conceal my approach. Now, would I run to the top of that hill right there?
If you wanted to get shot.
if I want to get shot, good answer. So I'm going to come around the side. Now look at this exposure over here, so we always got to be aware of this. Okay? Now, you see how I'm visible? Because I can see it probably can see me now.
Mm-hmm.
2, rally up!
So what does that mean?
Get down.
So I can lower my posture, or I can also go down here, right? Is that changing my situation?
Yep.
Nope. Very little. Okay? So that's a very good spot, which is, why it's where a radio tower is, right? You put a radio tower at a high peak, right? So do you see how an approach from here is going to expose you to anybody who is overlooking over there, correct?
Correct.
What do you guys think about this this northern approach versus the southern approach? Follow me.
2, return to formation!
See them without them seeing themselves.
Well, watch this real quick. Take a look right now at the ridge line up there. If a tanker was up there right now, would he actually be able to look down on this particular spot?
Yes.
You think so?
If he was up by like where the truck is.
Yeah, but the truck is not the tower. Watch. Back up a little bit. Right up here. Come up here.
So if he's where the
2, return to formation!
up by the radio tower.
Try to establish the location of the actual ground line for that tower. When do you lose sight of the ground line? Can you see the ground line from here?
Negative.
Close, but not like.
It's
Yeah,
more where
but
that
this guy's
fence
also
is.
like 6 feet tall.
So they'd have to be pretty tall, right? So if we were to come down here and not go across, but move towards, are we reducing the ability for someone at the tower to see us? Have we reduced the ability for them to see us?
Yes.
Form on me!
Okay, so we're still exposed, but it's the same much exposure we would have on the northern side, correct?
Check.
But if you actually think about it, that northern side actually exposed us to way more of stratus than the southern side did. Do you remember what I'm talking about, or do I gotta tell you?
Yeah, this little washout right here. It's much more narrow, much more
Narrow.
steep on either side. It's not as spread out down to like where the other ridges are.
And we're eliminating by moving towards it instead of at the side. So remember, when you're moving at a distance and you're moving this way, you're much more noticeable to an enemy when you're moving left or right than if you're moving towards or away. You're just a little dot that's getting smaller or bigger when you're moving towards or away. When you have motion left and right from an enemy's position, now you're going to get in trouble. So this is where, for example, you might get into
fall back!
your weapons out. So in this case, you might want to use a ranger file with about maybe a 30-meter spread. But remember, with wilds stay together. So Vigil, stay with me. The other wilds, go ahead and back up into a snake line. Go ahead and coil back. So
Cut out.
now you want to stay close, Vigil. Kind of like a moving glob. Yeah, just like that.
Alright, so look how Biggles is slightly behind me and off kilt to the right. So the wild behind us would have its front man facing forward, and its rear man is going to be killed off to the left, and then the other one behind him is going to do the opposite. Can they hear me right now on the radio?
Affirm.
2, form on me!
Stay right here, Biggles. Alright, so mainframe, you would be like this. Right behind him, looking off kilt to the left. You guys would come down here. Alright, and so you would be behind 0, and we would be off kilt to the right.
So now the objective here, because enemy contact is not likely based on what we observe, we would be moving fast. So this is where you would want to put your weapon down. And now keeping the space, we're going to do traveling technique. So we're going to travel, not traveling Overwatch, we're just going to travel fast along this line to just be able to move in close to be able to stay out of the line of sight of the enemy.
But are we not expecting contact?
2,
We're not
rally up!
expecting contact up to the next rally point. Everybody go ahead and move to my location.
Okay, so in the future there would have been, we would have had an Eagle Claw, would have been overwatching even this movement. Let's make sure everybody knows that. The reason why I'm moving you guys down here now without an Eagle Claw is because
regroup!
this is a introductory element and it's an explaining element. But everybody understands that we all should not have moved down here. It should have been, the snake element should have moved up first, and then there should have been an eagle element watching over him, right? Everybody understands that?
Correct.
Who are we missing? Oh, he's in the bush. Okay. All right. So everybody understands that. So when you guys go, remember, if there's no Overwatch, you ain't wild then. If you're gonna be wild, you gotta have an Overwatch. So that means an Eagle Claw has to be stay behind back there, and then we would have bounded up to the position. And that's why Zero was asking, but isn't enemy contact expected? So in this case, obviously, it is in that sense. You know, so you definitely want to be bounding, and that's where you have to have a wild element providing Eagle Watch. Okay, so, but we moved up to this position because there is actually enemy up there. You know, so, but there's not a lot up there, and that could be, you know, that's why they didn't see us and so on. But if you notice this terrain now,
2, return to formation!
chunk of land in between us and the enemy, and we can move to the right. You don't have to travel in a straight line. So let's go ahead now. Keep in mind there would be a eagle element would stay back right here after they moved up, and they would watch our movement. But let's go ahead and pretend that's there, and go ahead and move with me. Same format we were just in, same format.
Go ahead and get on my
joined your
position.
channel.
Alright, so you guys will notice, go ahead and circle up real quick. Alright, so everybody's going to notice that we didn't go down into the valley. We didn't go right to left. What we did is we kind of snaked around, and think of the snake. Remember, that's the animal of this particular movement we're doing. We snaked around and kept the land to where it still offers us kind of protection from that eastern side. So we're moving. Now this is dangerous no matter what. That's why you have to have an eagle crawl giving you overwatch, because this is just bad terrain to have to move through. It's very dangerous terrain. So that's why we're moving quick. We're trying to clear it fast. Okay? So pay attention to that. Watch that. Never go down. Never drop with deep altitude, only to have to just climb in greater climb. So you don't ever want to have terrain change like
Two,
that.
form on
Because
me.
if we have fatigue on, we would be really tired. And I am going to put a custom fatigue system in. That's going to be pretty interesting. So you got to watch that. So it's better to kind of stay high as much as possible and skirt it, even if you can't travel in a straight line. Also, you'll notice that traveling in a straight line is usually not a good idea when you're going to approach a target position or anything of that nature, because if an enemy is watching you and they don't reveal that they're watching you, they might actually set up an ambush in your path of travel. So you kind of want to set up a way of coming at an enemy to where it's not straight lines or predictable formats, so that you don't get ambushes established in advance. And you will see that with me working the AI Game Master games. If you guys are traveling in a straight line, you're definitely going to run into an ambush more than likely. If the enemy had eyes on you, I will make them intelligently respond. Everybody understand that?
Affirmative.
All right, so let's go ahead. So now, do you guys see how we're staying away from the tower, and how on that northern side the tower had eyes on us?
Two, return to formation.
Correct.
Does anybody still have a different view about that? Do you think that this could be done equally on the northern side? Nobody? All right, so does everybody kind of see how using this technique is the way you want to skirt the land and kind of avoid being seen from that high ground?
Affirm.
All right, so we got to stay out of their sight whenever possible. You know, that's kind of the key. And you notice how we still reduced having to travel way down into the valley and then up and over. So we just stayed, we kind of hugged the road a little bit, stayed off the road, you know, and just came around and snaked it. All right, so let's see, see what we can find for Overwatch.
Alright, same format.
Two, regroup.
Everybody go ahead and get online with me real quick. Facing south. So we have an issue here right now.
Now, we wouldn't stop here. This would be dangerous. So we might stop here for a few seconds, but you wouldn't stop here because look how exposed we are from everywhere. You got to keep moving. You got to get into a concealed and covering position. So, but I'm stopping right now for training purposes. What is our major issue right now when it comes to going at a high ground from a low ground?
Could you say that again?
What's our major issue right now with coming from this low ground to go into those high ground areas? Because everything is high ground from where we are right now. Go ahead and pull it closer, Biggles. Come in.
Exposure, mobility.
We don't know what's up there.
We don't know what's up there. We got no idea. We can be moving into men, like 50 men marching on the road right now.
Two,
So
regroup.
this is what we need to do, is we need to send a snake element, Voodoo, capital P, capital M, capital C. Voodoo, make sure that you have all your mods except for all-in armor mods.
Yep.
Alright, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to send a snake element up. So mainframe and mother, what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing with the terrain. And you're just snooping and pooping. That's what you're doing right now, snooping, pooping, S&P, okay? So you're going to S&P up and over those hills. So once you get to where the terrain is going to have a ridge line, you're going to hit your belly beforehand. You're going to crawl up into a position and maybe just have one guy crawl up into that position while the other one offers security. And then you're just going to snoop and poop over that edge and get your eyes on and tell us what's going on over there. So go ahead and move snake element.
Copy.
Now, while they're moving, we set up a 360. Now, it's a horrible spot to set up a 360. But we're going to just do it for now. So just relax.
Two, rally up.
Relax your area. So, Wicked, go ahead and take 3. 0, you're going to watch them. You're going to make sure that they
Ghost Dog, no contact up.
Copy that. Ghost Dog copies. No contact. Topside. Fall back.
Two, regroup.
Alright, go ahead, everybody form on me real quick. Alright, so when it comes to infantry tactics, and you'll see this in a lot of milsim groups, and so I'm out of character right now when I'm talking about this because we're not role-playing, we're training. Okay? We are role-playing as much as possible. But you'll see guys, they'll come up to these roads right here. And they'll stop and they'll put security on these roads. They have one guy pointing west, one guy pointing east, and then everybody would take turns crossing. Does anybody see a problem with that normal infantry technique right now?
Yes, I see a problem with it.
What's the problem you see with it?
You look like an infantry unit crossing a road.
You look like an infantry crossing the road. Any other issue with it?
Oh, it's just a big mass of movement that, it's just a lot more easier to catch the human eye seeing that rather than a few sporadic guys running across.
Okay, so you're talking about more of a gaggle. You got guys stopping doing security. They're all stopping, and then you got men pointing in different directions, and you got men moving
rally up!
across. Okay, so I got that. So you're talking about more observable variables, more observable factors. You also got that you look like an infantry and somebody's assessing that you're an infantry group. So we have that, which is about visibility, but that's the key right there. That's the primary issue, visibility. You're not crossing a danger area where there's a forest on one side and a forest on another where you moved out of concealment into the open, into concealment. We're not concealed where we are right now. There's no concealment on that road right now, is there?
You want me to go fill Voodoo in?
How you gonna get back?
Truck?
Yeah, do it.
I'll get back to base.
Yeah, go get back to base.
Just jog.
Two, regroup.
I gotta these advertisements. How do I get these things? I gotta buy these scopes and these upgrades to make this advertising stop.
Yeah, you have to have the DLC.
It's worth it. I think it's worth it.
6, form on me.
So,
4,
everybody
regroup.
understands that, right? Look, when you're not moving from a concealed position out into the open to a concealed position, that whole danger crossing element on a road is kind of obsolete. Like, it doesn't make sense. Can anybody make sense of it for me if it does?
Maybe if you're trying to draw attention to yourself. it makes
Okay,
sense.
so if you intentionally want to draw attention, does anybody else have an argument that makes it make sense? Nobody? So silence is consent. So that means everybody agrees then that if you're not moving from a concealed position out into the open to a concealed
2,
position,
rally up.
stopping and getting jammed up right there just doesn't have a actual tactical advantage, right? Okay, excellent. So let's move this way now.
Form on me. 6, return to formation.
Alright, so why didn't I move towards? Why am I moving back? Shouldn't we just keep going forward?
To see if you can put better visibility on how many people are at the base from here.
There we go.
Right,
Didn't
'cause
want
we
to talk.
start climbing the
Now I'm
hill right
synced
there
in.
to our east. We're just getting closer and closer to the enemy position, and they have high ground, so it doesn't make sense, right?
Correct.
Right.
Now, this turn in the road, what else does that show you now about vulnerability? We're back in the eyes of that tower.
2, rally up.
So do we want to be on this side of the road other than our snake team that went up to get eyes on? Would we want to come over here?
Negative.
Alright, so watch.
Alright, come on down here.
Rally up. 4, rally up.
We got trees, right? We got terrain that can be used to conceal us, right? Right up here.
Right.
These trees are right in the way of us and the enemy. So this line right here, this ridge line right here, is more beneficial because it makes it to where the enemy can't see us. Even to a point to where this might actually be more advisable. Instead of cutting up near the roads like we did, we might have wanted to just cut over to the trees and use the trees as concealment.
2, regroup!
Now we come up. So now we would be visible, right? So now we still gotta go back further.
6, fall back! 4, regroup!
Alright, so when moving away from an enemy and when moving towards an enemy, you want to align with you obstacles that makes it to where they can't see you and proverbially covers you. So say for example, if I wanted to approach that place, I would put a tree that I see that's lined up with it, and I would come at it at this angle because the tree would break visibility of me. So also the same way if I'm backing away. So let's say I'm up here, right? Somebody might see me backing away if I'm up here, but nobody's gonna see me if I put this tree in between me and the target, and I back away from the tree.
2, return to formation!
Come on, back this way. Move west.
So now we have all this foliage. We have all these trees in our way. This is blocking visibility. The enemy wouldn't be able to see us. So always put items between you
4,
and the enemy.
regroup!
Deny
6,
them the use
regroup!
of their senses. Deny them the ability to see you. Deny them the ability to hear you. Deny them the ability to smell you. Deny them the ability to touch you. And that's why we're keeping this distance. So as you see, we're about 700 meters out right now. So now when we come up to this road, is it good to cross right here?
Negative.
Alright, so look around you and tell me something better.
It's not bad. Just fall back a little further probably and do it.
Lead the way. Remember, put something between you and the enemy.
2, return to formation!
So you would suggest here?
Negative a little further.
Because we can still see the ground line, right?
6, return to formation! 4, fall back!
Alright, so even though we're moving quick because this is kind of introductory, we would definitely want to get off the road and travel, down here with the bushes whenever you're moving away from it. Did anybody find the crossing point yet?
Right here.
Alright, so we see the enemy's not going to be able to see us. Alright, so remember, we're loose right now, but make sure everybody, we're traveling.
regroup!
The wild formation, the wild line is what you would do in the future. So we're moving loose right now just so that everybody gets an idea, but make sure you always maintain that formation. You want to be this very thin, very tight movement so that nobody sees a gaggle coming across. Okay? So now, if you notice, we've changed our odds a lot. Let's go ahead and start moving this way.
4, fall back! 6, return to formation!
So now we're back to being visible, right? So you notice what we have to do here. You notice that in order to save our lives and everything, we have to actually travel more than we would have expected. So this could have gotten us in trouble, right? There could have been enemy contact here, right?
Affirmative.
But look how none of this was
2,
acceptable.
form on me!
Did anybody find acceptable terrain over there that you would choose to use to perform this mission? If your objective is to stay alive and to keep your men alive, would any of you lead anybody through that terrain that was an option to us?
Negative.
The odds are stacked against you, right?
6,
you're
return to formation! 4, form on me!
The fight's not supposed to be fair. The fight's always supposed to be in your favor. So you have to stack the odds in your favor. You can't play a fair fight and you can't play a lesser fight. So this is getting us to where we end up going out to find the right approach is going to require traveling. Now, in the future, of course, you can use vehicles like quads and things of that sort to get into the right position. And you can look at the map and you can know that the terrain is better in some areas. So if you take a look south of our position right now, let's go ahead and ignore this place as a place that needs to be secured. But all you guys know, if you moved up on this place accidentally, you would have to secure this area by having Overwatch on this area and then sending a board.
Regroup!
Sweep it real quick. But come over here real quick.
Form on me!
How's that
4,
for us?
fall back!
To move up here?
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh, that's pretty.
How's that for us when it
Yeah.
comes to egressing?
Cover, concealment, lot in there.
You're talking in-game too, Wicked. Make sure that you double tap your in-game comms. There you go. I think you're good. So you see that offers concealment, that offers cover. It's low ground, it's a valley. That's kind of bad. But when it comes to putting a snake element in, the snake element can do far more with that forested valley than they could with any of the terrain that was over on the northern side, right?
2, regroup!
Right.
Anybody have any error that they detect in my reasoning process of how we should come at something like this? Do you see how seeking out the cover and the concealment is always the first thing you should be trying to do when you look at the map and try to assess your approach, your course of action?
6, return to formation! 4,
We also
form
have
on me!
trees right here now too for us to even move up into an overwatch position, right? Alright, so let's all go investigate a position we would be able to cover the snake from. So ideally right now is when the snakes would have broken off from the eagles, but let's all go together, follow me.
So remember, we're keeping a tree between us and the enemy. So
Do
everybody
you
should have
want
been
us
lined
to
up.
go to the staging area and set up a bit like we did with these guys, or can I just have Voodoo get the assault pack? I walked them through all the steps.
2,
Can I
fall
just
back!
get the assault pack with all the items in it?
A-Firm, if you confirm that he knows how to set up the sleeping bag and he knows how to do all those things, then he's done with that phase, and then go ahead and move to our location.
Copy.
6, return to formation! 4, regroup!
Okay, so from here, would I be able to cover the snake's approach and then be able to egress if necessary and also be able to have concealment and cover myself?
Yes.
Because our objective is not to fire. We're not going to shoot from this position unless we need to help the snakes out. So it doesn't mean we're going to shoot from
rally up!
from here. So if I have to fire from here to protect the snakes, that means the snakes are already aggressive and they're bugging out from their position. They're breaking contact and we're covering them. And they're going to move into a position that's going to eventually give them the ability to cover us to move out of this position. Does that make sense?
Let Voodoo know that I crashed.
6, form on me!
Voodoo, be advised. 0 has crashed. I say again, 0 has crashed. How copy over?
Roger.
Every time I mess with that sleeping bag. Every time.
Yeah, you're going to have to check the integrity of your files because it's got something to do with your small thing. So does everybody understand that? That we're actually, the Eagle would only be providing cover right here for the snake's movement?
Affirmative.
So would the eagle element be moving with the snake element at this point?
No,
To
the
get to
Eagle
this
element would
Overwatch
stay right
position?
here. It's Eagle's Overwatch.
Yeah, but they should have been Overwatch the whole time watching the snake's element to get to this point.
2, regroup!
We're all moving together for instructional purposes, but there would have been an Eagle element covering our complete movement.
But this would be their Overwatch position at the point where we start moving from here.
What would have happened is turns would have been taken. So what would have happened is Eagle would have watched Snake's movement up to this point. Snake would have been
6, form on me!
Eagle and watched the movement of the other elements move up to this position. Everybody would have bounded to this position. Then the Eagle would stay here, while the Snake now is going to go in and do long distance moving.
Copy. Alright, so at what point do the elements work together?
They're working together all the time.
Okay. I was talking about that as like, not as Overwatch and a snake element or a boar.
It's what chooses the wild's designation is based upon the tactic you're employing. So you're never always eagle, always snake, always boar. These are techniques. So the
rally
technique
up!
of Overwatch is called eagle. The technique of sneaking and getting close just for recon is snake. The technique of going in close for assault is boar. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
So watch, for example, right now, Mother and Mainframe, you are eagles, so go ahead and get up on this tree.
6,
Control yourself,
form on me!
and have eyes on the terrain to your front. And know that snake is going to move through that forest. So they're going to be coming up that hill. And they're going to get into a position just to get eyes on the facility. But they're going to stay always where they can fall back and have you cover their egress. Does that make sense?
Copy.
Now, Biggles, you're going to be Snake and you're going to take Wicket with you. And you guys are going to go down using concealment of the trees right here and the terrain to block you from sight of the targeted area. And always moving from cover to cover. And you're going to get into the forest and you guys are going to make your way up. You're going to travel your way up to a position and you're going to have to choose when you're there where you're going to creep up to where you guys can
2, regroup! 4, regroup!
One man creeps up and the other man provides him with Overwatch, provides him with protection. So if he gets his eyes or his ears or his big head seen by the enemy, he's going to have to get up, break contact, and run.
6,
and you're gonna have
return
wait
to
see if
formation!
Somebody's going to be following him in tow that you're going to need to drop. Does that make sense? So you guys got to talk to each other once you get down there and make sure you're setting up your own security teams. Remember, Wilds is 2-man fighting teams. That means you guys are down there by yourself. Yeah, we got these eagles right here to cover your egress, but you guys got to rely on your ability as 2 men to be able to bound and break in contact and cover each other as well. Does that make sense?
Affirmative. Affirmative.
All right, Snake, you're on.
Alright, let's move to. We're gonna run for these.
So right now, only one of you guys should be providing Overwatch.
2,
on the area,
form on
but
me!
you should actually be tracking them. So don't look that way. One of you is doing
4,
security.
rally
You can
up!
put your weapons down. One of you is doing security by scanning with your head. You're just looking around. You don't have to have your weapon aimed anywhere. You're just watching. And then one of you is watching their movement, never taking
6,
your eyes off
regroup!
them. So Mother, go ahead and get your eyes on them real quick. So you can go prone to keep yourself better concealed right now. You can go into the sitting sniper position.
I'm back in base.
Copy that.
But Mother, you want to keep your eyes on them because remember, you're watching around them. Anybody who presents themselves is going to need to be taken out. And you're going to need to tell them on the radio if you see anybody that's near them. So do you have eyes on them?
Negative.
5, form on me!
Alright, so check your map real quick. And then put a marker next to them.
Alright, I got eyes.
2, regroup!
See how that trick gets you fast acquisition?
Just kind of following the trees and the shadows.
4, return to formation!
Don't use in-game chat. Just use Task Force. Over.
Copy.
Copy that.
Alright, so that's the way
6,
to get quick
form on
acquisition
me!
time. So okay, so
Do I
mainframe,
need
you're
to drive
watching
my
all
little
around you.
PO?
Repeat. Scratch that. Say again. Over.
Do I need to drive to y'all, or what am I doing?
Copy that. Grab a quad and move from
4,
west to
dismount!
east to our position.
Alright, so Mother, so you're looking around them, and mainframe, you're looking at areas Mother can't see.
6,
I'm
regroup!
about to lose eyes on them.
That's
5,
okay. Once
return
you
to
know they're
formation!
where they are generally, just watch and scan that area. Just follow their location. And so mainframe, you're this. Look at what I'm doing, mainframe. Look at me, mainframe.
2, return to
You should be
formation!
watching this sector, left,
4, regroup!
like where I am. So come sit where I'm sitting. And get into the kneeling posture for you because you want to be able to move quickly if you got to shoot. So if someone came up over this hill right now, I got to get off the X. So I got to move left, move right, and shoot. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that's you
Yeah.
drawing fire away from your teammate who doesn't know yet.
Copy that.
So since you've lost sight of them, they're going to be moving down in there. This is the thing that's going to make Wild different from other groups, is that these guys are now practically on their own. They're a two-man fighting force, and that's why they're not a buddy team, they're a fighting force. They're Wilds.
6, return to formation.
So Wilds, once you get
5,
up to a
fall
point,
back.
they'll be good enough to be able to fight as just two men and be able to break contact from a bigger force and know to retreat and not stay in the fight.
Copy.
See, they're going to be coming
2,
out from
regroup.
the eastern area, in that clear area. That's what he should know to do.
4, regroup.
So they're supposed to know to use the terrain to where they come up, where you can see them.
4, driver, get in that vehicle.
I went back to wait for Voodoo, but I guess she's not coming in, or...
Copy that. Go ahead. I think he's still in TeamSpeak.
He's in.
Yeah, I'm still in the team, so I'm just like not talking because I haven't loaded into the task force yet.
Copy that, brother.
Snake, this is Ghost Dog. Come in, over.
Who is
5, rally up.
This is Snake, go ahead.
Snake, be advised. Make sure when you guys start elevating up into the northern region that you guys get eyes on Eagle.
2,
so
form on
that
me.
you guys know that you are in a position or at a location that can be covered. How copy, over?
That's solid copy.
So it's at this moment that once you guys get out of the forest and
4,
start climbing
rally up.
the hill, both Eagle and Snake needs to be in communication with each other, and they need to get eyes on each
6,
other.
rally
So
up.
that the Snake element knows that the Eagle element actually is going to be able to cover its egress.
Copy that.
So be advised, Snake, that Eagle doesn't know much about where you are right now, so be sure that you are marking your areas on the map as well as communicating with them when you get a chance.
5,
So we're
return
using
to
the map
formation.
keep marking them, right?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you're
I'm
yeah.
tracking them only through the map.
Yeah, so always keep marking it so that you see.
2, rally up.
Mark their current pause on the map. We're starting to move up, following these dots. I'll try to put eyes in here.
I hear him. Is I hear a vehicle?
Kill your Indian Tom's mother.
Four, driver, get in that vehicle.
No, you're good.
I was trying to press shift and left click and I'll hit the gas button.
Eagle, be advised, we are east of your position.
2, rally up.
Visual on us, we are up in a cluster of boulders up here, over.
What's your response to him, mother?
Wait, one, I don't have eyes on you yet.
Copy that.
Okay, so now that
Be
we have,
advised, we're gonna move up a little bit further, so possibly have eyes on us.
so now that we have three elements, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Zero forward, and Zero and I are going to be Boar elements, which means we're assaulting. So we will assault. If Snake gets in trouble, we'll be on the flank, and you guys will be able to cover our retreat as well, our egress. So we'll put down heavy fire while they try to bug out. So this is all based upon range. How far away you're from is going to determine what the function is. So whenever they're really up close and they need a bug out, they're called Snake.
Alright, so be advised, gentlemen. So now that Zero is back with me, we are now going to turn into a Boar element, and we are going to move
2,
closer to the
form on
enemy.
me.
What we are is we are the flank, in case you guys come into heavy fire, which means Eagle will be shooting at a greater distance, we'll be shooting at a closer distance, and this allows you guys to have more guns in the fight for your egress. How come?
Hostiles. 6, attack that rifleman. East.
On me, Zero. Alright, so now what you do, since we're pretty much in the same direction, you guys are going to be able to cover both of us.
Hey, I got contacts.
Yeah, do y'all see the 3 enemies up on the hill?
Yeah, they're.
Yeah, don't
I see
engage.
3. Should we relay
there's
information to?
Yes, of course, absolutely. All right, Zero, on me.
Hey, there's 3 contacts on y'all's location, Snake.
They tell them they're like 50.
Y'all have eyes. They're about 50 meters from your position.
Hey, from. There's 4 that are walking around the radio tower. Do you guys have eyes on us?
Engage that
We're
man.
pretty much
East.
at the ridge of the road. We haven't crossed it yet.
2, return to formation.
Negative. Still do not have eyes on you.
Engage that man. East. 5, fall back. 6, rally up. 5, 7, 3, attack that rifleman. East. 2, regroup.
Be advised to move me up closer to inspect. I'm gonna run back down.
6, fire at that soldier. East.
Eagle, this is Snake. I think we are just sitting in a shallow point. A little bit of a bowl up here you probably can't see up and over.
Be advised
5,
they're aware of your
return to
location.
formation.
Yeah, they're aware of
6, return to formation.
Should we open fire, Mother?
2, rally up.
Pickles, this is Wicked. Can you call back over?
Affirm.
Be advised, we got 4 tangos down. I say again, 4 tangos down. You look clear. Hold position. Hold position.
Copy that.
Eagle, be advised. Move up to our location. Do it now.
Clear. Five, return to formation.
Hey, Pickles, how can I talk to you without being on the radio? Over. Let me double check.
2, return to formation.
Where is the menu in TeamSpeak to adjust that? Do you remember off the top of the screen? Settings or? Copy that. Stand by.
Hey, coming up on you, Ghost Dog.
Copy that. I got eyes on.
5, return to formation.
Okay, so you guys take Overwatch. Take Eagle on this position. All right, Zero on me.
2, fall back.
Be advised, Boar's moving up right now. We're traveling from west to east.
Copy.
Snake, this is Boar. Come in, over.
This is Snake, go ahead.
Snake, be advised, we are in position, able to give you cover on the flank. We are west of your guys' position, near the road. How copy, over?
Solid copy.
Be advised, go ahead and move north and stay on the southern hillside, though, however, of the tower so that we can cover your egress. How copy, over?
Copy that.
5, form on me. Regroup!
Do you want us to fall back?
Negative. Right now, Snake should be moving up to get eyes on the tower. You should have one man moving up while one man covers his egress if necessary.
Return to formation. Two, fall back.
Snake, be advised, you are outside of our protective range now. How copy, over?
Copy.
Are we clear to move to the hill to our north?
Affirm, towers needs to be clear.
Eagle, this is Boar. Come in, over.
Equal copies, go ahead.
6, fall back.
Eagle, be advised, you guys are free to move up to our last location. How copy, over?
Copy.
We could be advised I'm moving back down to your position.
5, form on me. Two, fall back.
Snake, this is Boar. Come in, over.
Send it.
Snake, be advised, go ahead and move up to the tower and turn into a bore element and make sure that it is completely secure before the rest of us move up. How copy, over?
Copy.
Voodoo, this is Ghost Dog. How copy, over?
Send it.
Is that you on a vehicle?
Yeah, I'm about to kill it right now.
Copy that.
Hey, we're on you. This is your previous position, right? Or you?
Negative, but it's okay.
Alright,
Cover us from right here, okay?
Okay, copy.
2, fall back. Five, return to formation.
Tower is clear. You guys are clear to move up.
Be advised, we're approaching your position right now. Board 2 coming in.
Copy.
On your north side, Biggles.
All wildlings, please report to the
2,
tower.
fall back.
All wildlings, please report to the tower.
5, fall back.
Alright, everybody go ahead and take a knee in a circle. Okay, so before I explain anything, let's go ahead and open the floor up to some questions about that whole...
Two, fall back!
Any critiques, anything you want to add, or anything you want clarified? Alright, so just to break down real quick. So, that's how we would do all the movement we were doing. But the thing is that we were moving with instruction, for instructional purposes for the first half, before we moved into position. But that's how we pretty much would be bounding. We'd be bounding with a snake element to the front, clearing the way for us by getting eyes on and ears on, and then we would have an eagle element watching them. We don't have a bore element until an assault is a possibility, such as assaulting a flank, or helping by getting closer for an egress, and you only can do that once you have enough men. So for example, when we lost Zero, that made it to where we only had 2 actual wilds that were in the fight, and plus 1 extra man, which would normally be the Fang, who would actually be the Savage leader, and he wouldn't be considered a wild, he would be in a command position.
Two, rally up!
So, with that said, once we were able to have 3 wilds in the fight, that's when you start to see that we were able to do eagle, boar, and snake. So let me now clarify the differences a little bit. So the snake is not expected to fight, not in that particular role that they're playing at that very moment. And remember, it changes. So when I said Biggles, and I said who was with Biggles Wicked to go up and secure the site, they became boars because even though they had cleared it, it looked like it was confirmed cleared. If they were to get into a fight, they would have been expected to hold that position while we advance up and flank whatever enemy is fighting with them, unless they said otherwise. If they said they were overwhelmed, then they would break off and they would let us know. So the eagle, the boar, and the snake is based upon what your role is for that particular tactical engagement or movement. So the snakes were the snoop and poop. So as you saw, Biggles was 1 man. He went up while Wicked was to stay back and provide him with cover in case he needed to egress. So Biggles goes up.
Two, rally up!
Real quick, gives eyes on, tries to identify what enemy is. The enemy moved in on the position and saw them at one point. Don't know how that happened. It might be because the AI is the vanilla AI on this mission, and I apologize for that. So they probably cheated. But I don't know. I don't know for sure what happened. We'd have to see it from you guys' video angles. So, but the AI detected them. Now, once the AI detected them, though, you saw that from the position that the boars were in, we were able to put down fire on them. But you saw that even though the AI detected them, Biggles took down 2 and Zero took down 2 of them. So that means Boar took out half of them and Snake took out half of them. Okay, and that's actually the way it should have been in that situation for that many guys. The Eagle is there to cover the egress, but because the attack came sudden, so was Boar and Snake able to take them out quick. But if we had to break contact, Eagle, you guys had eyes on those tangles as well, correct?
Two, regroup!
Yeah, we did.
So you guys would have been able to put fire on them if we all had to break contact, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct. All right, so it shows you that by having those 3 wilds working in their groups as they were, it made it to where the protection was always there. Each team, each group was covering each other. So now, when a snake element goes that close, we're talking about 50 to 100 meters closing on the enemy. So snake is very dangerous. Most of the guys that are going to be even doing this snake stuff are going to have to be crawling above. Okay. So, but everybody's got to be familiar with all the roles. They have to be good at sneak. So their sneak scores is going to be the thing that determines whether they can play a snake element or not. So, and we'll see that a little later on. So that means if the savage is comprised of claws, then it means everybody is 70 and above. And 70 and above is enough to be a snake element. But if it's comprised of sieves that are and cubs and no claws and no fangs, then whoever is in charge of that savage at that time is not going to send an element in to be a snake element. There would just be boar elements and there will be eagle elements. Does everybody understand why and what that is?
Affirmative.
Right.
This is about safety, and it's about making sure that every individual is in a set, and that nobody's being asked to do something they haven't proven that they could do, and that's the key element here. So notice that Boar was out at 400 to 500 meters. All right, so Biggles, you gotta take off your
oh, sorry.
Yeah, your what's it called, voice activation.
No, it was stuck.
So that's what you gotta notice that so Snake was up within that 50 to 100 meter range of snooping and pooping. Boar was back providing the flank coverage at 400 to 500 meters.
Two, form on me.
Why is still 400 and 500 meters a good place for the flanking element to be? Anybody? What is about that 500 meter range?
That's your engagement range.
So combat effective range, right?
Right.
So we know that if we're on that flank area, we're in combat effective range from 400 to 500 meters, we know that we can put down pretty much accurate fire on the enemy so that the snakes that are 50 to 100 meters enemy close can bug out from that position. And then we know that both of us can be covered from the Eagles, which were at what range was the Eagles at?
We were about 750 meters.
So you're about 750 meters out. So you know, ideally we probably should have got you to 600 meters from target, right?
Copy, yes.
So that would have been more effective if we would have did, 50 to 100, 400 to 500, and then 500 to 600
Two, rally up!
the Eagles. So does everybody see that whole how that distance element works?
Affirmative.
So most of the time, if we have the advantage of high ground, good coverage and concealment, we're not sending a snake element in. So the snake element is desperation. We don't know what's going on. We're getting the snake element up there so we can get eyes on the enemy and we can see what's up. So does everybody understand that snake is something you want to avoid when possible in the beginning? Does everybody understand that?
Yes. So are those the ranges that we're going to stick with? 100 to 500, 500 to 600?
Affirmative.
50 to 100 is how close snake is trying to get.
All right, hold on. I'm going to write that down. I'm good.
Two, fall back.
So the thing to know, though, is that the boar and the snake, though, get close. So the boar is not supposed to stop at 400 meters. It's when you're covering a snake element, that's where a boar would cover the snake element from. But the boar is actually used to assault through an objective. They're used to go in and pretty much swat the enemy. So the boars are the brutes. That's what they are. The snakes are the shadows. The eagles are obviously the reach out and touch somebody AT&T specialist, right? So that's what their different woes are in that sense. So a boar can get close as well. It's just in that type of moving techniques or tactical movement, the boar was being used not as a assault, but as a cover element. Does that make sense?
Affirmative.
But the difference is they were up close, 400 meters close, so they were within the combat effective range of the enemy's ability to return fire. So the eagle wants to try to stay outside of that combat effective range, but there's going to be times where the eagle can't. The eagle is going to be within that combat effective range. So look at the ranges as ideal ranges of dealing with approaching the enemy, but you have to adjust the tactics based upon the terrain and the access to the enemy area. Does that make sense?
Affirmative.
Yes.
All right, so everybody's understanding that. So is all that clear?
Affirmative.
Yeah,
All right, stick with me. I'm making it up as I go along, so just stick with me on this. All right, gentlemen. If you have any logical adjustments you want to see made, if you think something was unsafe, if you think something could be played out better, during these after-action reviews of those particular engagements, that's the time to say it. We'll get it out there, we'll consider it, we'll run it, we'll test it, we'll see if it works. We'll do all that. We'll get it all out in the open.
So the only time that you ever want Eagle to engage
Two, fall back.
Or is there ever going to be like a time where, obviously there's going to be a time when we kind of break the rules when we do engage.
Eagle engages the second there's a threat on the life of the snakes. So if the snake is moving in and you see a threat moving upon the snakes, you're supposed to engage them before you even touch the radio. You start engaging them immediately. So
All right.
We saw them go
That's
weapons
what
up.
we started to do. I didn't know if that was wrong SOP or anything.
No. The life of your men is more important than the mission or anything else. So these snakes, their life, that's priority when they go in that close. When the boars go in for an assault, the boars are priority. If you see someone get alert, they've gone from soft contact to a hard contact. They're a fighting force now. They're a threat. So once they become a threat and there's our guys close, unless you hear a snake say, they didn't see us, or it's okay, we'll just disappear real quick, and they tell you otherwise, if you see the threat, you engage them if they're hot.
2, regroup!
Copy.
You can ask Snake, like you can call Snake and you can see. If you see that awakened element doesn't have eyes on them, the awakened Op 4 doesn't have eyes on them, that maybe that they're investigating instead of ready to get them. But if you see everybody going alert and the whole area's going hot, that's a judgment call that you definitely have the right to make as the Eagle element. Does everybody understand that?
Affirm.
Okay, so Snake, you engaged the Tangos when you saw them. Was that because you believed you were endangered? Snake, that was a question for your guys' element.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said that you guys engaged the enemy, so what I was asking was, were you in danger when you engaged the enemy and incapable
2,
of shooting?
fall back!
What was the circumstance?
I was actually, this is Wicked, I provided cover. Biggles actually was the only one that engaged of the two of us. I was in a position to advance if need be, but I contacted him. He was able to fall back safely in my position.
So that's why my question is, why did you engage the enemy?
Because I saw an opportunity. They were focused on shooting, I think, at 4, so I
Okay,
was
so
on their flame.
So opportunity is a no-go though, because what did we talk about beforehand about firing, for snake element firing?
I don't recall.
So what that means is that because you opened fire, it means that if there was people elsewhere, what have you, they would identify that there was an enemy within 50 to 100 meters of their position, true or false?
True.
So you lose the element of surprise. So because you created a sound profile,
2,
because
regroup!
you aggroed in that area, you lost the whole snake element if it wasn't a firing in self-defense. Does that make sense?
Affirm.
So that's why when we were talking about SOP beforehand, I made it clear that as a snake, you do not want to shoot unless you have to shoot. So if you can egress and get back to a safe position, you want to do that, and you want to leave the shooting to either the boars on the flank or you want to leave the shooting to the eagles. Because remember, it's about the sound profile. You want the enemy to think that that their enemy, that us, that we're far out and not up close on them. Because what if, for example, the objective for the snake is to sabotage? So the snake's not supposed to shoot. The snake's not supposed to give up its position. What's supposed to happen is we're supposed to draw aggro out on the outer layer for the enemy to engage and to go towards our sound. And then you can move in and blow up a vehicle or something of that nature. Does that make sense?
Confirm.
So this is why it's very important to learn for
2,
the snake
form
element
on me!
that you don't engage unless you are in danger. And then you must engage. You gotta engage. So don't look at it as the snake is in an opportune position to engage the enemy and reduce his numbers. That's not what the snake's role is. Now, you don't have to remember all that right now. Snoop and poop, exactly. And you don't have to remember all that right now because, again, this type of training is going to be more for claws. Claws are going to get used to, you know, what is a snake? What's his role? What is a boar? What's his role? What is a eagle? What's his role? So you guys do not have to remember all these roles right now. I'm not expecting you to. This right here is cub orientation. This is to get the cub rank. This is not to get the claw rank. Does that make sense?
Copy.
So you guys will you'll get an understanding of that stuff later on. It's and you'll remember. And again, take notes because if you're not taking notes and then you're out there and doing things that are against the roles and things of that nature, then it's going to be a factor.
2, return to formation!
From that position or from that score. So when you guys go for your stealth assessment scores and stuff like that, when you do snake and when you guys do all those things, the assessment scores is going to be based upon assessment operations that will be set up that you'll be tested on. So you want to make sure that you remember the roles of that element because if it drops your stealth score below 70 or something of that nature, then you would not qualify to be a claw and things of that sort. Does everybody understand how the assessment would work?
Copy.
But you guys, everybody did excellent. So just because I'm critiquing that Biggles doesn't mean you guys didn't do good. I mean, obviously, that team was eliminated and things of that nature. But just remember the rules of engagement for the different type of roles, because it's critical to the overall strategy. So each role has its particular tactical approach, and those tactical approaches are necessary to abide by in order for the whole strategy to work properly. So I hope everybody understands those roles, but you'll learn over time. The whole point of
2, return to formation!
So when you go into the public servers, or when you guys come into the training center, because I'm going to keep improving this training center, but the private server is going to be up now. It's not coming down. The private server is for you guys to train on, okay? And some of you guys are going to be given Zeus access so that you can set up training elements too as well. So claws and above will be given Zeus access. So when you guys go on the public server or on the training server, you want to keep practicing these maneuvers and keep practicing this type of relationship. So if you got 2 elements, if you got 2 wild elements, then you should have an eagle and a boar. If you got 3 wild elements, then you should have the third one practicing being a snake, and you guys should be switching off the different roles. So to have a eagle, a boar, and a snake, you need a savage. Does that all make sense to everybody? Does everybody understand what a savage is?
Never.
What's a savage, mother?
2, return to formation!
It's basically having enough personnel for a boar, a snake, and eagle. So I guess a group of 6.
Okay, so you said 6. So you're saying a savage is 6, but what is a savage comprised of?
4 eagle and
Somebody help him out.
It's comprised of wilds.
How many wilds is a savage comprised of?
3.
How many men are in a savage?
Minimum of 9?
Negative. A savage is comprised of 7 men. You have 1 that's a fang, which is the team lead, and then you have 3 wilds, which is composed of 2 men per wild. So 7 altogether.
Copy that.
2, rally up!
Sense to everybody?
Okay, so I just missed the team lead.
Yeah, you also missed the fact that a savage is 3 wilds. So you were expressing the roles that wilds can play, but that the savage is not eagle, boar, or snake. Those are the particular tactical roles that each wild can take on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just misunderstood what you were saying.
Yeah, that's why we're doing this. That's why the Q&A is in place, so that all of it can be put into the proper kind of genealogical or taxonomical classifications. So a savage is comprised of 7 men. A savage is made up of 3 wilds. So if you don't have 3 wilds, it's not a savage. So once you have 3 wilds, it's a savage. And it's a rogue savage if it's not a part of SV3 and it doesn't have a fang. So a fang makes it an SV3 savage. Does that make sense?
2, form on me!
Because it means that the training, the quality, and everything is all in place. And then the fang leads claws. Claws is the fighting warriors of the wildlings. So a claw means you're an operator. It means you've been trained. A cub is a recruit that is training to be a claw. Does that make sense? Everybody got that?
Yep.
And so
Yeah,
we're gonna have
I'm
videos.
trying to write everything down.
That's good. It's cool, mother. That's what you gotta do. But we're also gonna have videos. We're gonna have videos from Mainframe's point of view and my point of view. And you guys are gonna get access to the club, the Cubs membership area of the website once I get it up and going. I've already created the stuff. I just need to get it filled in. All right. So with that said, does everybody, anybody have any questions about the roles? So call those roles. R-O-L-E-S. Those are roles, and they are roles that wilds can play. Okay. So when you go into public server, you guys want to
2, fall back!
And remember what the rules of engagement are for each of those roles. But you do not have a snake element, a snake role, unless there is a eagle and a boar. So that's the primary roles you want to play, is eagle and boar. But once you get a third wild added, then you can have them practice with snake and things of that nature. But it's best to stick to eagle and boar until you get familiar with those. And so remember, what is our objective? Do we want to hit the tangos up close, or do we want to hit them from a distance?
Distance.
So then, if we got two wilds in, and those wilds are hitting the enemy up close, are they performing properly, or are they performing inadequately?
Inadequate.
All right. So don't get all, gun ho and go in and try to fight the enemy and rush them like most people do in the public server and on most servers. Remember, your objective is to stay alive, and what's the best ratio in the beginning for you to have as far as kills to death?
10 to 1.
So if you don't have 10 to 1, 10 of them to your 1 kill, what does that mean?
You're wrong.
You need to work on it.
You are wrong, right? It means that you're risking. You're being too risky. And that's not going to work when we're playing on the private server and we got the proper mods in and we got the ACE modules in. You're going to be going down and you're going to be putting stress and pressure on the rest of your team, who has to now get you up and medically treat you, correct?
Confirm.
And I am going to figure out how to do that in the public server to make it to where revive is required and there's no respawn. I'm going to figure that out eventually. Okay, so any questions before we move on to the next module of training?
This is wicked. I may have to call it a night here, actually.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, my time? No, I understand that.
Regroup!
In the morning now. All right, so is that it for you, Wicked? Are you getting off right now?
What time is it? Stand by. Is it 1 o'clock? Maybe got like 20, 30 more minutes.
All right, let's see what I can put in that time. All right,
I'm
here's
gonna
what
head
I'm
off.
going to do. Say again, Biggles?
I'm gonna head off.
You're going to head off right now?
Yeah.
All right, so when you come back in, Biggles, put Cub as your marker now for your in-game name, so CUV, all capital letters, just in replacement of your CIV, and then that will also be what it is in TeamSpeak. Put Cub, okay?
Copy.
All right, so make sure you keep tracking the website and make sure you keep tracking the TeamSpeak to see updates and things of that sort, and make sure you're in for the training. So
Okay.
keep in mind that when it comes to Claw, though, can you still hear me, Biggles? Even though
Yeah,
you're
I can still hear you.
Yeah, so you got to make sure that you're actually
7,
active on the
regroup!
server to be a claw. So if you're not active on the server to be a claw, there will be no training provided.
2,
for
fall back!
to move to the claw level, and you would just be a cub, okay?
Copy.
All right, so we have since Voodoo has rejoined us, that's good. That means that we have we still have
User
three,
disconnected from your channel.
We still have 3 wilds. Okay, so with that said, Voodoo's going to be with me. Zero, it's going to be you and Wicked and Mainframe and Mother. So Mainframe and Mother are blue. Zero, go yellow. And Voodoo, go red. Because I'm red, right?
I believe so.
Alright, so go ahead and get your colors squared away.
You know what's jacked up with that, though?
You
Guess
got
what?
it.
My ace
What's up?
isn't working.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, we see your name.
I can see your name and everything, but
7, rally up!
my ace menu's not pulling up.
None at all.
None at all. Like, it's giving me, like, the red little circle and everything.
2,
but, like, no
form on
text or
me!
Anything like that.
And you're using the Windows key?
Yep, I'm just gonna have to stay connected to
Watch
it.
your position!
Yeah, not a problem. Okay, so the next objective that we're going to do is I'm going to set up the abandoned outpost or whatever it's called, that place that's not too far from here. And what's going to happen is Zero, you're going to be taking the role of a Fang, so you're going to be team lead, and you're going to develop the strategic approach, and you're going to develop how the other elements are going to be utilized. So you now have at your disposal the ability to have an eagle, a boar, and a snake. So you need to figure out as team lead how those need to be used, how they're going to approach this facility, and your objective is going to be to eliminate an HVT. So I'm going to get that going for you, and you go ahead and start explaining to everybody what you need from me.
Hey, Zero, I'm going AFK for about 30 seconds.
And this is going to be the test phase to make sure everybody understands the what a wild is and how wilds, what their roles are.
Watch your position!
So, blue team played Eagle last time.
Correct. I couldn't hear you, Zero.
Is that alright? I'm gonna be putting blue team as Snake.
Copy.
I'm gonna be putting Voodoo and Ghost as Eagle. Be putting us two.
Roger.
I'm gonna be going ahead and I'm gonna
Copy
mark
that.
the map, the positions. Just be advised, blue gonna correspond, you know, to blue team, and so on. It's gonna spread.
Copy.
Alright, well, since we're always gonna be moving, I don't think marking groups gonna matter. But basically, we're gonna move together to 2-4.
Report position.
Approximately 250 east of our position. So we get to hill 214. I'm gonna have Eagle team stick there, and then we'll break off as we go. 14 and Snake will move together until we get to hill 9.
From 214, where you guys breaking off at and where you going?
What are you talking, Snake?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find where's this outpost
Report
at?
position.
Southeast.
Southeast of
Be
214.
advised, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's like straight up like one click out.
At like about 195.
Yeah, Raj.
So if I can have Eagle team, who's going to consist of Ghost and Voodoo, sit tight at hill 214. Then go ahead and provide Overwatch as we move to. You can see the Hescos up there.
I'm curious, what got you guys referring to locations by their altitude?
What do you mean?
Because that started recently. I started hearing people referring to locations based upon their altitude, like Hill 214.
Yeah,
Is that-
because they're looking at the elevation altitude that's marked on the map. You get to see like around 214, you got 197, 195, 174. I guess that's
So you guys
easier.
just find it easy just to reference it like that?
Yeah, without
Yeah,
marking
because
the
it
map,
really
I don't
depends
see
on how
else
far
you
they
would-
are zoomed in.
Okay,
If they're
I got
zoomed
you.
in really far, they can see like around 214. I'm
Watch
zoomed
your
in all the
position.
way to, like 195, 197, 174, 173, 195, 192, 188.
All right, so we're taking Hill 214 so that we can provide Overwatch for you guys to move. Is that what you said?
You're moving to the Hesco
We're gonna
compound at
provide
221
Overwatch
and
to
224.
221. The Hescos are at. From 221, you can see the old outpost, and then we'll just play the leapfrog like we did last time. I'm trying to decide if I want Snake going down into, around and under outpost, or to the terrain.
Do you need a snake element right now?
Not necessarily, but I thought you wanted me to play it as one. To
When
have
would
all-
you, well, seeing how snake is risky, when would you know when you need a snake element?
I don't have eyes on me, but I do, so I guess I don't know.
All right, so does everybody understand that differentiation?
Well, what do you do when you have those two leftover guys? You play two boars or two
Boars.
eagles?
2 boars, 1 eagle.
Two
Or you can do 2 eagles and 1 boar. You're going to have to determine that based upon your tactical approach.
Once we're rallied at the Hescos, that's eyes on right there. Eagle team on 214.
Watch your position.
2 boar teams to get to hill 221. I mean, y'all can see both these hills from where we're standing right here. You got 214 right there, directly ahead of us, east.
Copy that. It's
Then
time
you got-
for you to start giving instructions.
Then you got Hescos southeast.
All right, so you need to instruct.
Yeah, like I said, Ghost, you might have not setting up stuff. Ghost Dog and Voodoo, Eagle team, rest of us,
Copy
4
that.
teams. I'm gonna have Eagle team up on 214. Like I said, we're all gonna move there together.
Copy.
And,
Alright, so we'll be in the back.
Hey, friend. So we move there
Yep.
together. We'll let Eagle team get set. Once they say they're set, 4 teams will
Alright,
move down.
how does
to-
how does a wild move?
like a leapfrog.
What do you mean? No, I mean how does a wild move when they're together? Do they move this?
Offset.
Oh, I see. So it's offset. It's like me here.
Show me what a wild looks like.
We could get to my right. Scoot up closer to me since we're limited on space.
Let's get our weapons.
Report
out.
position.
We could get. Nope. Get behind me to the right. Scoot close to me. Tight for space. Alright. To my right.
Alright, so
What to do. Team said we want to move back. Video just stick with the play. There you go. Alright.
So you guys are gonna bound forward first, but we need to get into position to see you, right?
Yeah, we can see where we're moving from here. You know what I'm saying? So we can all move.
You can't see if there's enemy to your north or to your south or around you.
I can see our route. We're gonna be covered
Yeah.
from the north. Terrain covers us north.
So can so you're telling me you can see what's north of you? You can see if there's enemy coming up that road right now?
No, I said terrain covers us north. As long as you're not
Look.
skylining this ridge line, there should be alright.
Okay, so SOP is that Eagle always needs to be in a
Report
position
position.
to be able to see around you.
Alright, let's have Eagle team sit tight right here.
No.
Get up on these rocks to the northeast right here.
Eagle team needs to climb to high ground right now.
Should be these rocks up here. Or, hey, Eagle team, if you want to play it even better, you can climb the radio tower.
I'm good with that.
No go on radio towers. That's a big tough.
High ground.
I got this down wrong.
Eagle has you clear to the north.
Alright, I'm waiting for y'all to stop moving. You guys set?
Yeah, we're
Eagle
set.
has you clear to the north and to the east.
Copy.
Eagle has you clear to the south.
Boars are moving.
Standing by.
Alright, so remember SOP. Always put Eagle somewhere where they can see before anybody moves.
Yeah, y'all can see, right?
Hey, firm, we can see now. Yep. And then remember, the objective of Eagle is to always watch where the boar is
Let's
moving.
move quick, because we're exposed right here. Just start sprinting. Where I'm standing right now, the second board team, blue team, sit right here, by that rock that just ran by. Then my team, let's hit our bellies right here and crest this.
Alright, so call the boar's elements and the Eagle's elements, okay?
Called elements.
Yeah, they're all called elements. This is going to be something you guys will get used to the lingo over time.
I'm gonna need someone to distinguish between the board teams though.
Board 1 and Board 2.
Alright, we'll be board 1.
Element 2 in position.
Be advised, board team 2, move up to our position. Make sure you're on your bellies.
Wow.
Hey, board team 2, get eyes on to the northeast when you get to our position.
Copy. Right behind you.
He may have had a bad dream.
start moving up.
Alright, be advised, Eagle team's moving.
Oh yeah, straight up.
Oh, look, a snake.
Right. Call it when you think we're good.
We'll move up in the center of them. All right, Zero, I got to stand corrected. So the point men are always snakes. So they are a snake element, and I stand corrected about that. So the snake element, the point element, everybody can hear me, right?
Copy.
So I stand corrected. So the snake goes in and kind of snoop and poops at the front, and he tries not to engage. And have the snake element go about maybe about 50 meters to the front, and then you have the boar element stay back. And if there's two boar elements or one boar element, that boar will stay 50 meters from the snakes. So what this is kind of like traveling Overwatch. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the snake doesn't necessarily mean they sneak down into the enemy territory. They're kind of just the point men. They're kind of the recon. They're not to engage just because they see tangos and stuff like that. So set that as SOP, that they stay 50 meters in front of the boar.
So yeah, just cover us as we go down into this valley, and we'll stay right below this, where the room is. And move
Copy
up
that.
to the Tesco's on top of the hill.
So your goal is you're trying to move to those Hescos to R12?
A-firm, so I need someone on Eagle team to make sure they have eyes on that, like, lower hill to the east. All those trees over there.
Copy. You guys stay in the terrain-wise. Stay north side, keeping this road to your side concealed. Like stay a little bit low below
That's
the.
what I was saying. I'll stay below this road.
All right, yeah. So we'll take the rock to our left, so that we're not up top of this hill, because we don't want to be on top of the hill.
So I guess now yellow team will be snake, and blue team, or and red team.
Copy that.
Yeah, I kept thinking about it, Voodoo, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, this is really, this infantry stuff doesn't work for armor. You're never playing with a big enough group to where infantry movement seems to be sound.
Alright, so we'll dump off this hill on the east side where Eagle team is.
You want us to fall in like 50 meters after you?
Yeah, snakes stay 50 meters ahead, and then the boar go ahead and stay 50 meters behind them. So wait for them to move out.
Yeah, their Hesco looks good, and to the left of the Hesco looks good. You know, now with this numbers, it might seem like rocket surgery, like at this point, you know what I'm saying? But a few more, like training evolutions, like drills and everything, it'll get them right. And then everyone should be able to like have a basic grasp where they can like, you know, depending on like their verbiage and everything, they can explain like bugs and they see how like other stuff gets down.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what the normal folks do.
Yeah.
Trying to get Wicked to catch up. Four team, go ahead and hold about 10 meters in front of you.
What he wants us to hold right here?
Alright, so be advised, Eagle team, on Snake's team, I'm gonna have Wicked sit right there and cover my approach to the Hescos, then he'll on me.
Solid copy.
This isn't a very good position.
Yeah, no, we're pretty exposed.
Alright, Wicked, go ahead and move position, man.
Hey, let's push up to those trees.
Copy that.
Copy, yeah.
So both Eagle and Boar start moving and we'll cover y'all from our position here at the Hescos.
Copy.
Hey, Boar, you need to go ahead and communicate to Snake that you already moved your position. I'll copy over.
Copy, we're moving now.
Eagle's coming out of the nest. We're moving towards you guys at the Hescos.
Copy.
Alright, be sure, elements, make sure you're always communicating with each other before the movement takes place.
Copy.
Be advised, I might have made a mistake and thought one of the Snake fellows was a Boar, so I stand corrected if you guys were not moving yet. How copy over?
We can go peek over
Copy.
that hill to the east. Down there. Like southeast of the road.
What'd you say, Zero? Sorry.
Just trying to get to watch the hill over there. Mainframe, watch to your north, northwest. That alleyway down there while your team moves.
Boards, be advised, you guys did everything correct. I falsely observed, so I stand corrected.
Affirmative.
Thank you for that Overwatch, Mother.
This is, good. I don't see anybody up here.
One Tango on the roof of the big
Wildlings, all Wildlings, come to my position. All Wildlings, come to my position. Make sure you.
I mean, on network, but you're not transmitting. You're talking to us this close.
Yeah, that sounds like it's probably my internet.
One of the Eagle team. Look, northeast, east. Just keep eyes on this wall.
Copy that. And so this is where, because we're so close to the enemy, this is where you would send a snake to check out the path before we go any further. So the snake's going to have multiple types of roles itself. So in this case, the snake is a pathfinder. His objective is to move through, find the right path and right way to approach, and you only want 2 men doing that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what do I do? Do I stick Boar with the peasant?
Yeah, Boar would stay back as well. Normally what would happen is Boar wouldn't be with us. We would be protecting Boar in this position from another position, but we'll also provide overwatch because it is 4 men. So Snake can go in right now, and then Boar's going to watch our back while we watch you guys. So have Boar provide security on this location. So as the 2-man element, they need to be watching all the areas that is not where you are. So Eagle watches you, Boar watches Eagle. Does that make sense?
What's intel on Air Station Max here?
That's going to be what the Snake's job is to do, is to get eyes on the surrounding area. So always survey the AO, the area of operation first, and that's what kind of Snake's job is, and that's what Eagle's job is to, Snake is going to get the close-up account, and Eagle's supposed to get the far-away account. So for example, Eagle should be looking at that tower over there right now. Alright, so like for example, I see no tangles over there to the east. So Eagle has to scan all this terrain and make sure they see no tangles in sight. And that's what it is right now. There's no tangles in sight. So Voodoo was just checking the western area. He was scanning that. So then Eagle then would have to climb up here real quick. Like I'm gonna crawl behind. Remember, always go behind your guys. Oh.
So, for example, right now I'm looking, Air Station Mike. I don't see any movement. I don't see any movement south of the facility.
Copy that. Alright, let's get Eagle team set and then Boar team set, watching the and the watch Snake team.
And make sure everybody is definitely following the terrain, because if that one man sees you guys, that blows the whole point. That blows the stealth approach. We don't know where the other tangles are.
Oh yeah, we're gonna dump off these hills.
You guys are doing great. You liking it?
What was that?
I said you liking it?
Yeah.
Oh, so that didn't answer my question. Are you liking it? Okay. It's going to be faster when you're engaged in the mission. This is important before now. Hey, turn. Eagle team set.
Boar team set.
I heard Boar team was set, right? Just be advised, Snake team's gonna crawl off the hill to the northeast, and then when we hit this landing right here, we'll to our moving, like, traveling stance, and we'll travel to that hill up there.
What was that, Mother?
Copy.
Copy that.
I'm gonna start pushing towards that western wall, so I have eyes on the other side of these walls.
Copy that.
Eagle, you don't see any movement. This this wooded area in front of us, right?
Negative, no movement in sight.
Then board team, you're watching north-northwest, right?
Be advised, Snake, move a little bit more south so I can see you.
Copy.
Be advised, the Tango on top of the roof, he is looking east. How copy, over?
Copy.
Definitely come more higher, Snake, more south. Come closer to the road.
Is that gonna skyline us over?
Don't go up to the road, just come high enough south as you can without being seen on the other side.
You'll be able to see us. This is just kind of rolling terrain right now, so we're in and out of, elevation. We're coming up on this hill right now. We can see y'all.
Copy that, Snake. I have eyes on you. Be advised, looks like there's a building structure up there. Be warned.
Copy, yeah, we got eyes on it to the east. I'm scanning it right now. Alright. I see no enemy movement. Structure to the east.
Copy that. You ready for board to move up to your position?
Wait one for that, but
Copy that. Waiting.
alright, send board team.
Board team, this is Eagle. Come in, over.
Board team Eagle, send it.
Be advised, you guys are free to move up to Snake's position. Go ahead and stay north of the road and move from west to east. How copy, over?
Copy.
Be advised, board team, as you move through that foliage, Snake no longer has eyes on you.
Copy.
Be advised, we regain visual on you.
Copy. We're gonna come up on the south side of that hill.
Copy. Wait, one, repeat last?
We're coming up from behind you.
Copy, north side.
Eagle has eyes on both elements. Boar and Snake, how copy over?
Solid.
Alright, so I need one board team looking towards the radio tower. I need Wicked watching the building structure just east of us. And let's have Mainframe, can you look like west? And I'll watch south.
Cool. You're clear to move.
Be advised, Eagle's leaving the nest. How copy over?
Copy. Just be advised that once you get into that foliage, we lose eyes on you. So if y'all want to split up Eagle team and bound it just with 2 people, that's fine.
Copy that. We'll travel through fast.
Copy.
This is wicked. I gotta be AFK for just a minute.
Copy that.
Be advised we regain visual on you, Eagle team.
Copy that. Eagle approaching your position now.
Copy that. Now, in terms of engagement, Stog, since the last one, we just engaged because Snake Team Angel. Does Snake Team give visual, mark these enemies, pull back, and then does everyone rally up in position?
Well, okay, so Snake right now was only used for pretty much reconning the path, like finding the path. Once you know the enemies are here right now, the objective would be for either Overwatch, Eagle element will either get eyes on the enemy from the most advantaged high ground, and then call out that with recon, and then Snake becomes bored because there's no need for a Snake.
Okay, see the problem with this is the best high ground is this right now, this location that we're at, or all the way to Air Station Y. That's a composition within itself, and right now, basically, I think all recon team or Eagle team would be able to see is the dude on the enemy on the roof, and maybe the 2-story brick building to the right, because the 2-story white building is going to block anything that's on the south side of it. See what I'm saying?
So in this situation right here, then Eagle would be inoperable. So the objective would be to get a Snake. Well, actually, to have everybody convert into board. If we know that there's no enemy around this facility, only the enemies that are in it, then we're all board right now.
Okay. What if I
So
want to
the-
have a team watch that dude on the roof in case he becomes a problem? See what I'm saying? Like with the suppressor.
So then that would be Eagle team will be ready to take him out while Boar tries to move in cloaked, and then when Boar gets into position, Eagle will wait for Boar to two Boar elements to tell him when to take out the guy up top, and that guy will be taken out at the moment that you're ready to move in and find other targets. Does that make sense?
Copy. It's a lot easier if that dude on the roof got taken out now with that warn all the other enemies even if you shot the suppressor?
Let's see.
Alright. Let's find out.
All teams, all elements are going to be holding fire. We're going to be only targeting the single individual. Hold fire, hold fire, hold fire. Voodoo, come up to my position.
Time here, guys.
You got your weapon is suppressed and suppressing weapon is
Hey guys, this is Wicked. I'm gonna have to check out.
Copy that, Wicked. Have a good night.
Wicked, make sure when you come back on next time that you have the cub markings. How copy over?
That's a hard copy.
Well done tonight, well done.
Thanks guys. I'll see you soon.
you and I are going to secret out those shots on this guy. Shoot, I just stood up. Oh god. Leans into that.
You're okay, you're okay. I don't think anybody saw you. Eagle team, if possible, just one shot.
Be advised, we're going to fire 2 suppressed shots for certainty.
From one from each individual, or?
User disconnected from your channel.
2
Okay,
shots.
that's fine.
From
And it's gonna be
each-
synchronized?
Affirm, synchronized.
Awesome, okay.
Voodoo, what's the range on that target? How copy over?
150 meters.
Voodoo, are you ready to fire? How copy?
Call it. Speed advise. Shooter on the roof's down.
Be advised, I have a second tango in the window of the smaller building. How copy over?
Solid copy on that. You see the road to the south of us, southeast, the road that leads from Air Station Mike to this old outpost?
Affirm.
So on the opposite side, on the left side of the road that we're looking at, it dumps off. If I have, the board teams go southeast and around and down into that valley and come up over by that road, we can see what's on the other side of that 2-story white building, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, I concur. What we'll do is we'll approach, move in from north to south, taking from this high ground to low ground after you guys are in position.
Copy that. So we're gonna convert, the board team into. Can I convert them in like us 3?
So one of them becomes a snake to go pathfind, and he stays 50 meters ahead, and the board becomes an eagle to provide cover on that snake.
Copy. Well, I guess since it's made the route, I'll snake it, and then board team, as usual, can stay right behind 2 meters.
Copy that. That's best.
Alright, just be advised, I'm gonna dump off this hill, behind us to the northeast. I'm gonna go around to where the road forks, going to the building structure over there. And I'll cross there and dump into the valley.
Copy that. Just in case the enemy has radio comms and they do check-ins, we gotta move quick now that we engaged one of them.
Copy.
Be advised, we have a confirmed tango inside the window. We can take them out.
If y'all want to do it again, but we don't know how many's in that building, so you might warn. There's a second one. Might warn the. There.
Alright, be advised, thermal scan has shown that there's only one on the second floor. How copy, over?
Copy. Y'all are free to engage them.
At 0, you want us to fall in 50 meters behind you?
A-firm, did y'all, should have announced that I was moving. I was busy talking to the second floor. So I
Copy.
moved. I see y'all, I think.
Mainframe.
Hi, this mainframe over.
Hey, blue team's moving.
Copy that.
Eagle, what's the status on that Tango second floor? Status.
Tango has been eliminated.
Copy. Be advised, I'm making my descent into the valley.
At 0, we don't have eyes on you.
Copy that. Valley to the southeast looks clear.
Hey, be advised, Air Station Mike and the road coming from Air Station Mike and the tower that's overlooking everything is all looks clear from our angle.
Copy that. Had to hold my breath there that you weren't gonna say there's tangos. Be advised, I'm about to crest over here onto this road.
Zero, blue team has eyes on you.
Copy that. Blue team, rally up with me. Right on the east side of this road.
Copy.
Be advised, Eagle team, we can see the hill you're on from here. I'm at the light post on the left side of the road y'all should be looking at. Eagle team, I never heard y'all say y'all were moving into compound.
Be advised, we are on the hill now overlooking the compound.
At 0.
We have no eyes on any tangos north of its position, so the north side of the compound is clear.
Copy, don't advance further than that. Whoever's in front of the Eagle team is pretty close already.
Copy that, we're holding position.
Sorry, my bad, my bad.
Who's shooting it at what?
Nope, sorry.
We had a misfire, we're good. Alright, you see where the fence has a... Or under it, I mean, my bad.
Say that again, we didn't hear you all the way.
The fence has a cinder block below it, you know? That's
Yeah.
basically like the wiring. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the northeast, crawl, and I'm gonna crawl to that white wall right there.
Alright, copy. We got you.
Be advised, Eagle team, I'm dumping from my current position to the northeast, and then I'm gonna move west to where the fence and the white wall meet. I'm gonna position myself behind that white wall.
0, I see a guy on the second story of that white building.
Copy. I'm out in the open right now, so if you can hold fire till I get set.
Copy.
So I got eyes on Voodoo. Voodoo, you should see me crawling across the road right now, to your left.
Right,
Snake, we have eyes on you.
See a Tango, first floor, white building. Southeast side window, bottom left.
Raj.
Other than that, the open land with the metal cargo container and the spindle looks clear. All in that, they gotta be inside buildings.
Snake, do you have eyes on enough to see that we're clear to move up to the building or not? Over.
If those windows that y'all are looking at are clear, then you should be good. I need to be able to see over this hill, though. Can y'all see what's on the left side of the building?
North side?
Like from where y'all are facing the building, can y'all see like this east-southeast side of it? Just the hill down there?
Negative. We only see the north side of the building. North side's clear and we can move up on it.
Copy.
We have trees to our 12 o'clock to conceal our approach.
Copy that. Y'all are free to move. I'm gonna keep my cursor aimed on this guy who's in the bottom floor, left window. Hey, board team, y'all still got eyes on that guy's second story of the white building?
Copy.
Alright, y'all go ahead and get set to fire and we'll synchronize our shots.
Hey, he's in a defensive posture.
Copy. Let's shoot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire. My Tango's down.
Our Tango's down.
Be advised, Eagle Team, I'm gonna be rallying up with y'all. Right behind you.
Copy that. Be advised. Boar's in position.
Be advised, we made entry to the building.
Snake, watch the first floor.
I'll be Eagle Team moving in a second. Period. Exists to the west.
Board team to Snake, do you want us to move up?
Once we clear this white.
Copy.
Eagle Team, second floor status.
Clearing.
I got eyes on HVT. Repeat. Be advised, I've restrained HVT. I repeat, restrained HVT.
Solid copy.
HVT is in first floor, middle building, south side. Board team, go ahead, move up.
Copy. We're moving.
advised I've stripped HVT of radio communications and military gear.
Roger, second floor is all clear. We're coming out the balcony opposite side.
Copy that. Be careful with that. That's a funnel, and brick building hasn't been cleared.
Be advised, we're moving to the brick building right now.
I'm gonna be escorting HVT out north side of two-story white building.
Hey, blue team is on a cinder block wall and has eyes on brick building. You want us to stay here?
Raj, just provide overwatch on the brick building. From what you can see, we're about to make entry right now.
Copy.
We're moving over to the second floor brick building.
War team, what's your status on visual?
For visual on you?
Yeah, can you see me?
Negative. We see the brick building. We see Eagle.
Copy that. Be advised, you guys secure the compound. I'm moving HVT to Hesco's.
Brick's clear, we're coming out.
Copy. Our team, go ahead and move up. Y'all secure the rest of the compound together.
Copy.
Tango out.
Status. I didn't hear communication on that.
Brick buildings is all clear.
Copy that.
Be advised, area looks all clear. How copy?
Solid copy on last. I'm moving HVT. I'm about 50 meters out from the Hesco's right now.
Copy that.
I used old route to get back there since I knew it was clear.
Alright, copy. It's time for the wildlings to get out of here. Everybody, let's go ahead and ranger up and move.
Once at the Hesco's, I'll be able to provide overwatch.
Go ahead, you
Where
guys
are y'all
move to
moving here?
Escos.
Voodoo, be advised, we're moving out from south and north.
Yeah, roger that. I'm already covering y'all's escape.
What's your 20? I see you. Alright, bring it home, Voodoo, I got you.
Be advised, I got eyes on lead man and ranger file. I got eyes on 2 men.
Copy us, blue.
You guys are clear on the flip side of that road.
Alright, we're moving down to that boiler.
Copy that. Eagle team, what's your status? Got eyes on you.
Now we're moving.
Yeah, y'all are clear on that side of the road. Just dump off into the foliage and move west-northwest to the Hesco's. Be advised, Eagle team, 4 team has made it to the Hesco's. We'll still be providing overwatch for y'all's transition to here.
That's a good copy. We're on the move right now.
Copy that. Got eyes on you. Clear. Be advised, HVT is stationed inside the Hescos, facing east against the wall.
Copy that. Go ahead and complete the mission, Zero.
Take him out. No interrogation.
Nope. Complete the mission.
Alright, all wildlings inside the Hescos. All wildlings inside the Hescos. Let's go ahead and form a zero or a circle.
Anyone notice how loud this weapon is, even with a suppressor?
Yeah, we heard your shots at Tango.
This is not a good suppressed weapon when it comes to shooting from distance. Okay, so we got Mother, we got Voodoo, we got Mainframe, we got Zero. Is this what we have? Is this it?
This is what we did with.
Oh wow, high speed. Okay, how many shots did the enemy fire?
0.
Yep, 0.
What's our death kill to death ratio?
4.
There's no deaths.
I got 3. I don't even know how I got 3.
You shot those two twins inside that one area, and then you probably got the first shot on the guy on top of the roof.
Oh, okay, yeah, the guy on the roof. Yeah, you're right.
The way he killed these twins was unspeakable. They were
About all
all,
the targets y'all engaged with.
these guys were standing back to each other, and Voodoo shot one of them, shot through him, and shot the other guy, and they both landed on top of each other.
The twins.
Twins.
Yeah,
okay,
they were
so,
Twinkies. Doubt.
Exactly. So I'm open the floor to any comments or critiques first before analysis. Alright, so Mainframe. Trigger finger goes either on the middle mouse button or you keep it off the mouse, right?
Alright, yeah, I can explain to you what happened.
What happened?
I fell asleep.
What? Wait, what do you mean you fell asleep?
I fell asleep at the computer.
Wait, weren't you pulling security?
My security team was asleep.
Oh no, you're not supposed to admit that, Mainframe. Falling
Could've
asleep
said
on
your
duty.
catnip's on the mouse.
I tell you what, though, that shot woke me up.
I bet
it did.
It
You
woke
know
all
what?
of us up. Dusty.
Integrity's a good thing nowadays, Mainframe. That's a rare commodity on most people.
That's good stuff. I can't believe that. You fell asleep on your computer and then your own firing of the weapon woke you up. That's great. Alright, so that was okay, so one thing to pay attention to in the future. If we take out a Tango, expect that there's gonna be a 15 to 20 minute check-in time that the enemy does comms checks. So what that means is if they're missing somebody on comms, they're gonna get suspicious. So normally what you would do in real life is you would analyze and observe when guys use radio comms to see when they do their check-in patterns. Does that make sense? But we can't really do that with the AI. So right now the standard rule is just going to be that if they have night vision and they're really high speed special ops looking guys, they'll do check-ins every 15 to 20 minutes. If they are your basic infantry guys and there's a lot of them, then they're not doing check-ins. So think of it like small numbers, importance of the mission, and how high speed they are will determine what their likely radio comms check-ins is. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. So with that in mind, keep that in mind with the missions. Like when we hit a mission, if we move on it, like if we do got to take a guy out, just for role play purposes as well as if I'm ever Zeusing the enemy, just always think that okay, now we got about 15 to 20 minutes to get in there before the comms check was done. And for role play, just say okay, I see him checking his comms. He just checked in. Okay, so that target just checked in, and then from there you got 15 to 20 minutes. Does that make sense?
Copy.
You'll like that element as we play with that more often, you know, and that would be really cool to keep that role play element in it. And it'll actually have a real in-game effect too, because I will have people grow suspicious if somebody's been knocked out, you know, eliminated, and he doesn't check in on the radios. Okay, so that was executed, I mean, flawlessly. I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, can you guys see how this wildling and these different roles that the Wilds can play and so on, how this could just make it very effective to complete a mission?
Yep.
Yep.
Anybody got anything to add or say about it? I don't even have anything I can say about it. It just was so smooth that I don't even know if it's correct or not because it just went so right.
Yeah, I don't have tea. That's for sure.
Yeah, but see, it's a double-edged sword. Zero. Yeah, I understand. Trying to word this right. Zero is you're wondering where we are and everything. You know what I'm saying? That's cool because you're trying to like command and control it and find out where everybody's at and all that. I have like I have no problem with that whatsoever. Like, it's a double-edged sword. Like me and Ghost here to like said when we were moving and all that. So that's like, you know, micromanage. Like, you have a lot of stuff on your plate at that time. And then again, me and Ghost probably should have said when we moved like a couple of 50 meters, because that can make all the difference. It could be 5 meters or 50 meters. So that's a double-edged sword, and that's like something, once we like start operating like this, everyone's just going to have to know what's really like going on with that. It's really like a double-edged sword, like even like try to explain that. That's like you gotta have like that tactical like telekinesis going on with everybody, or we actually have to say and call out when we are moving out. So it is a double-edged sword. There's like really, I can't like look at like no valid like way to like put that.
Well, I think with that, to add to that, Voodoo, is that yeah, we should have called out that we were moving towards the building, because getting out of position also means that the other guys have to account for where we are. And so, but then what Voodoo's kind of saying is that eventually, when everybody's high speed, you're gonna start to see that, you know, you gotta kind of be in that next step where your guys are. So, for example, Voodoo and I, you know, could move up incrementally enough to get a better Overwatch position. You'll see that we've done it in the future. You'll be able to trust and know that we did it because it was safe, because it was better, because it was an advantage, and then you will already know where our position is. Especially as if you're a thing, mentor leader, then that means you're going to know where everybody is no matter what anyway, because you're not going to actually be, you know, doing the creeping and stuff of that sort. You'll be doing more of a command central thing with them while moving. So that's kind of, I think, what Voodoo was saying, is that eventually when you know the guys you're operating with, you'll know that there would be no need for us to tell you that we just made that incremental move, because you will trust and know based on our skill level that it actually didn't change anything on the battlefield in a negative way, but increases our positive enforcement in our position. Is that what you were saying, Voodoo?
Yeah, because like when we moved up that first time, and he like checked in, like when we why we didn't call out we moved, we were like trying to like check that ditch as like much as we could for you. Like when you were going to the wall and you said that low ground that we couldn't see, that's about as far as possible we could like move without like getting near like compromising anything, because we were trying to check that whole little approach for you until then.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt why y'all did. It was it's just, you know, situational awareness and stuff. I had blue team.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
That's how I knew where they were. And I was just making sure because I saw you laying down, and you know how it works sometimes, kind of in the ground, and the name wasn't popping up on first.
Right, yeah. I probably like I don't like that either. Like when you sink your bipod in, like people look like they're floating or something, their name doesn't pop up either.
Yeah, hopefully they'll fix that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Crazy. All right, what else? Any more analysis? Anything anybody's got?
No, I'm good, man. You know, I just got off work and all that good stuff.
I thought it was slick. I thought the whole entire night the execution was slick. Very important to understand the roles. Biggles slipped on that element, but that's okay because this is an introduction to the roles. Nobody's used to them, so there's expecting that people are going to have to adjust. Right now, Zero, you are Cub Senior. So what that means is, for the time being, whenever you are on, you have the kind of the mentor leadership intern role at present. So the objective is to pay attention to make sure that everybody understands the roles, understands their gear, loadout, setup, and everything. This is your guys' loadout. We didn't get a chance to try the tents. Actually, you know what? We got to try that stuff right now. Mainframe, go put a tent down on the road real quick, the one you're carrying. It's not a tent, but it's a roll. Go put that roll down. We're gonna get killed in a little bit, gentlemen. We didn't get a chance to test some of these things. So be ready. You're about to defend this.
Hey, I'm not entirely sure how to use this thing. Do you just place it on the ground?
Yeah, just throw it on the ground like trash.
Copy that. Alright, it's down.
Let me check. Yeah, I sure do. Hold on, let me check this out and see if my game crashes. If it crashes, I'm probably done for the night.
Oh, all right. So put it down up here somewhere.
And we'll
Everybody
go.
get into a defensive posture.
I'm gonna wait for you to put that down, Voodoo.
They're gonna come from everywhere.
Alright.
Hey, look, my game didn't crash.
Got it.
What'd you say, Voodoo?
Said my game didn't crash and it's down.
All right, now open it. Wait, no, you gotta put it on. So switch backpacks and just do it by switching slots. You gotta put it on. Yeah, you don't have to take that one off. All you have to do is switch slots. You don't automatically switch it. There you go. Now go ahead and scroll wheel and lay it out. There you go. Now put your big backpack on. So you're the only one that's gonna spawn here. So in the future, we can bring our spawn points much closer because our backpacks don't really slow us down. So we'll bring everything closer next time in the future.
Now those
Okay?
tents say that they that if enemies are nearby, you won't spawn.
Yeah, those probably won't work this time then. But here we go, gentlemen. You're testing spawn points. You're going to see where you spawn. Everybody be ready to fight.
Hey, but if enemies are nearby, it doesn't let you spawn on them, I think. Actually, scratch that.
Oh boy. See that contact, right?
Yeah.
Contact west, contact west.
Hit.
I don't see the respawn point.
Same.
Oh no.
They might have disappeared after a while. I don't know what's up with them. I don't see it either.
I see the green sleeping bag, but I just
We
don't
got
see
the
it
man
as like
down.
a place you can spawn on.
Right, you can't select it.
So even Voodoo can't go on it?
Yeah, I can't use, like, I see it there, like in the HESCOs, but I can't select it.
But
So
did,
you only can go back to the regular respawn point.
Yeah, here I'm at.
Oh, it might be a feature that only works for Blue 4.
What are we, independent? Oh yeah, because we're not on the same team, technically.
Well, then that's an easy fix. You know, you would need to pick an indie sleeping bag, right?
There is no indie sleeping bag.
Ah.
Maybe the brown one's the indie one. But that's the thing is that that's weird. Yeah, because I tested it with Blue 4. It worked with Blue 4. I didn't test it with the indie.
Yeah, we just gotta get the color-coded sleeping bags.
Huh? Check it out in the arsenal real quick and mess around with it. Where's
He's
Mother?
still alive.
no, I'm dead.
Oh, okay.
I gotta use the bathroom. AFK 20 seconds.
So we spawning at PMC base?
Yeah.
He's hit.
Yeah. What happened to my load gear on respawn?
I don't know, you might have the same issue with me. That never works for me.
Yeah.
I have to, like, go back in the arsenal and, like straight up, like, click load.
Bag over here.
What are you grabbing a sleeping bag too? Or not sleeping bag? Yeah, sleeping bag too.
Yep. I'll grab the blue one. Someone grab the brown.
Hey. Yeah, someone just, like, never mind, they'll probably put you in prison. Never mind, don't even do that.
No, there's no prison system on this.
No, the
Here, let's see if I can respawn.
Yeah, there's no
Let me-
prison.
let me just do it like this.
what a mess.
Brown one ain't doing nothing for me. Yeah, brown ones don't do nothing.
Spawn on my blue one.
Nope.
All right, let's see something. Hold on. All right, stay there, Voodoo.
Yeah, whoever.
That's all I'm getting is the PMC base. Nope, can't even get the ridge tent.
Yeah, it might be. We might have to do Blue 4, which is silly. There should be an ability for all guys to use it.
Let me go just a second.
Cause that's all the tents.
We should have a PRC like private server since there's more options. So, yeah, we have
Wait, what are you saying? Yeah, we can definitely do private server gear.
so much cool like gear, so much cooler like advanced gear. Like I like the chest rig that gives you the pistol holster, stuff like that.
Yeah, I like that too. The objective is for the training it's got to be standard. So we can go through and we can find a standard look, but it has to be standard appearances.
Copy. Come on,
See, I just
man.
laid,
Do you want
just
me
laid
to
down a
place the rest
green
of the
sleeping
things
bag
now?
and still not do nothing.
So it might just be blue 4 for some reason. Let me look it up online real quick.
It's pretty cool if you could crack that.
Well, it definitely works with blue 4. That's what I tested it on. I just didn't test it for green. It's supposed to be gorilla. They count us as gorilla.
Right.
When you play as independent.
Well, man, I'm out for the night, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be all good for like all day things. This weekend's
Copy
been
that.
hectic.
Yeah, I'm gonna head off too. I gotta be at work tomorrow.
Copy. Have a good night. Thanks for playing. You guys did excellent.
Appreciate it.
No, I'm gonna try to be on early evening and late night tomorrow, man.
I can't wait for the first mission where we actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some missions set up for tomorrow.
Look at this one. Afghan police fatigues.
That is ugly.
They're like blue jumpsuits. I'll find some better ones. Some of these textures. Oh, look at the pistol holster on this one. On my right thigh.
That is ugly.
User disconnected from your channel.
They're all like need some snow
Ugly.
around where these. Oh, stab roll. Combat unit.
User disconnected from your channel.
Oh, so this is 101st Airborne 10. Oh, the patch is changing.
Ugly.
Just so stupid. Oh yeah, here we go. Whoa. Alright, I'm gonna go through all the police fatigues. Hold on.
Alright, I'm off for the night.
Look at this all black. Just
I'll have some stuff ready for you guys tomorrow. It'll be more training. Did you guys like the training for tonight?
I can't hear viewers talking.
Yeah, are you on Whisper?
It might be. Wait one.
This is sweet.
Now I'm on yelling. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Did you guys like the training tonight?
Yeah, this was pretty good.
Yeah. Very informative.
Well, it's real world tactics, so.
Look at this outfit. You like this one?